Well, looking around this wonderful Estadio Mineiro, every seat is taken. If you could get a ticket, you probably had to mortgage everything to get one. We were told there were 9,000 Chilean fans who had got tickets. I can't see that, Kevin. You know,
no.
There's a burst of red every now and again around the stadium, but in relation to the yellow shirts of Brazil, they're minuscule. Maybe 3,000 Chilean supporters. But it's a great arena. It's a beautiful day here in Belo Horizonte. A few fluffy white clouds, but imperious blue sky overhead. The temperature is not unduly warm. It just seems perfect for a match between two South American countries.
Yeah, absolutely perfect. And it's the perfect setting, like you say there. And I mean, you talk about the tickets hard to come by. What about hotel rooms in the city as well? And they're hard to come by as well. They're going for 3 and 4 times the price.
I tried to flog mine last night.
Yeah, you come and sleep on my bed on my floor.
Well, I know it has been difficult, but it's as if everybody in Brazil, never mind the Chile supporters, everybody in Brazil has been trying to get to this city and to get into this stadium. I can tell you, for the next 2 hours, the whole of this magnificent country will shut its ears and shut its eyes to everything else apart from the events on this glorious playing surface in front of our eyes. Our position here, commentary position, is excellent. It's not too distant from the pitch. It's slightly to the left of the halfway line. You do feel, with this setting, you're privileged to be in a World Cup. I'm looking at the scenes now on the television monitor. Thiago Silva, the Brazilian captain, appeared to be in prayer there. David Luiz always points to the sky as soon as he emerges from the tunnel. And the last man out, every single occasion for Brazil, is Neymar. I think it's scripted, you know. He knows how special he's viewed by the whole of his country, and he likes that stage right at the last minute. His colleagues were already waiting. Neymar emerges last. And now the 2 flags come out. The fair play flag of FIFA and the FIFA flag itself. And finally, you stand by for the roar when the 2 teams climb up the steps, led by Hard Webb of England, the referee. And we've got Brazil to the left, Chile to the right. It always takes the Brazilians longer to reach the playing surface because they have this routine that the player behind the front man puts his right hand on the right shoulder of the player in front, and that's how they sort of trundle out. And the reception, of course, is exceptional. Beautiful day. Big day for Hard Webb. I watched that opening game. I did Brazil-Mexico live. Wasn't sure about some of the refereeing there. Watched the opening game though. I thought the Japanese referee so favoured Brazil. Neymar very fortunate not to have been sent off in that.
I think it's gradually improved, Alan, hasn't it? At the start of the tournament, I think we were seeing some key decisions that were being missed. I think it has gradually improved.
Well, now we await this special moment. Oh my word! The mascots, the young children, standing in front of the Brazilian players. It was like looking at David Luiz 11 times over. They were screaming out the anthem, Kevin.
Alan, that was so special, so special. The whistles are coming from the Chilean fans. It was just, you could only hear it very so slightly in the background. That was so special. The whole occasion, being here for a Brazil game, has just magnified 10 times over.
Right, just one thing I want to say on a personal level. My father's in hospital, he's very unwell. I know that he's listening here on 5 Live, and I'm thinking about you, Dad. So here are the 2 starting 11s. Let's begin with Chile. Their goalkeeper, the exceptional Bravo. Then 3 central defenders from right to left, Silva, Medel and Yara. Then 4 in front of those 3. Isla on the right, Mena on the left, Aranguiz and Diaz between them. Then Vidal, the one change in the starting 11 for Chile. And finally Alexis Sanchez and Vargas. Brazil's goalkeeper is Julio Cesar. The defence is Alves, Thiago Silva, David Luiz and Marcelo. Then Gustavo and Fernandinho's been prepared to Paulinho for Brazil, then Hulk, Neymar and Oscar, and finally Fred. And Brazil, of course, are a big threat in terms of winning this World Cup. But they've got to look at players like Hulk and Fred, Oscar, and demand more, Kevin.
They really have. We've spoken about them before the game. We've spoken about them so much in the build-up to this game. Hulk is disappointed. Fred himself, it's interesting one with Fred, because when I look at the way that the likes of Colombia play as well, and they have Gutierrez playing for Colombia, doesn't really get involved in the play. He just looks to stretch the opposition to try to free up the players around him. That's what's expected of him. But when the ball goes into him, his touch is letting down on so many occasions, and he has been quite poor in possession.
Now we've got this collective huddle for Chile, and that really does reflect their approach to every single game. Sampaoli, the Argentine coach of Chile, is such an impressive figure. You know, he's totally manic. He never stands still. He's always bouncing around the technical area, as he's doing now. We haven't started the game, and he'll be screaming out advice. He wants aggressive pressing from his side on Brazil, and Brazil will be wary of Chile. Make no mistake of that. Chile will kick off here in Belo Horizonte in their red shirts, blue shorts and blue socks. Brazil with their yellow shirts, white shorts and white socks. And how many Brazilian shirts are being worn here? In fact, I think most of the fans are just in national shirts. Maybe 54,000 Brazil, 3,000 Chile. Hard Webb gets this game underway. We're in the knockout phase of the World Cup. This is where it really starts to tingle. This is when you could think, hey, somebody's going home today, and unfortunately we're already home.
Frantic pace, what a frantic pace to start as well, though. He immediately challenges going in. Fernandinho with a little handball of the back. That's what the Chileans would want as well. They want that pace, high tempo, constantly looking to prevent Brazilians getting forward.
Yara looking for Bernard down the far side of the field. For Chile, it's headed out of play by Brazil. Throw in to Chile, about 10-15 yards over the halfway line. And it goes towards Vargas. And then there's a push on Vargas, and the referee, Hard Webb, immediately blows his whistle and awards a free kick to Chile. But the thing is, you know, the pressure on Webb is enormous here. You know, everybody wants to see Brazil do well. Of course we do. We just want it as a result of fair refereeing. So the free kick, a couple of yards in from the left touchline, away on the far side of the field. In the second minute of the game here in Belo Horizonte. Whistles from the Brazilian fan as the free kick is delivered very deep. Well defended that by Fernandinho, and it's clear. And it's hit in the direction of Neymar down the left side, intercepted by Chile. Chile tried to counter-attack, but the ball is quickly back to Julio Cesar, the Brazilian goalkeeper, who's dressed largely in grey today. But that's the only flash of grey on a wonderful sunlit afternoon. Just after 5 o'clock in the evening, of course, in the United Kingdom. It's barely past 1 o'clock here in Brazil. And don't forget, later, from the Maracanã Stadium, Mikey and me and Dennis will be bringing you commentary on Colombia against Uruguay. Cesar with the clearance for Brazil over the halfway line. Fred jumps, glancing header on, but not without the aid of a push, and it's a free kick to Chile. Well done, Hard Webb.
Yeah, good start again. It was. I mean, I'll tell you what, Fred heavily involved as well at the start. Great first touch from him as well. Huge pressure on him. I think the goal in the last game was just eased his nerves.
That was a far too aggressive challenge on Aranguiz. And Hard Webb is going to put. He must be thinking of a booking here for Fernandinho. He's certainly awarded a free kick. But what will his decision be? Aranguiz certainly died. Fernandinho being lectured. They've only played it a couple of minutes. Now Neymar's trying to pull Aranguiz to his feet. Maybe he thinks that the Chilean was exaggerating the contact. He was actually.
Yeah. I mean, it was a late one, wasn't it? He's knocked the ball off. It was a good. Fernandinho did come in very late. Heavy challenge. Howard Webb maybe given the benefit of the doubt with it being so early in the game.
He's fortunate though. No yellow card. Brazil 0, Chile 0. here in Belo Horizonte, which will also be the setting for one of the semi-finals. Probably, we think, looking at the draw, Brazil against Germany.
Yeah, that'll be huge as well. I mean, there's so many twists and turns that we know is going to happen. We've seen them at so many World Cups. We've seen big teams go out already, but that is the expectation. I think that'll be certainly the semi-final when it comes around.
Right, here's Neymar. Neymar's got free kick out of the vision for the Brazilian fans. Webb won't overreact. It's a free kick, nothing more.
Yeah, it was Mina, wasn't it? Good little turn it was from Neymar, trying to get him heavily involved early on. There's been just one or two chances. We're going to expect this from the game though, Alan, aren't we? This is how it's going to go. Big pressure we spoke about on Howard Webb's shoulders, and he's got to be up to it, because this is the sort of little niggling challenge that will continually go on.
Free kick's been taken, and here's Gustavo to the left side of Marcelo, onto Gustavo, running down the left flank for Brazil, crosses low towards the penalty area, it hits Silva and rebounds behind for a corner.
Good run from Gustavo there. Now this is the chance, this is what we've spoken about as well. Height in the side, good power, decent ball played in. This is where Chile do struggle.
Well, of course they've got the advantage here, Brazil, but what it needs is a good delivery by Hulk. The corner's from the left side. Hulk placing the ball in the quadrant now. Hardweb's already. That's great refereeing, you know. He talked to a Chilean player, he also talked to a Brazilian player. He saw something and he's saying, look, I didn't miss that, I'm watching you, don't do it again. Well done, Webb. 5 minutes gone here on 5 Live. Brazil with a corner, and Chile have got everybody back. Fred plays it into the near post and it's well defended. Then it's captured by Marcelo over his left foot, shoots wide. Wasn't that far wide, but I'm sure Bravo had it covered.
It's a very little touch from Marcelo, checking away from Vidal, I think it was, onto his left foot. Just couldn't get enough bend on it, could he? Trying to bend it inside the post. I think the keeper might have had it covered over to his side, over to that side. Bravo, but positive start from Brazil.
Yes, it was definitely covered by Bravo, and the shot was about a foot wide. You're listening to 5 Live, your World Cup station on Brazil 2014, the first of the games in the last 16. Brazil against Chile, 0-0 in Belo Horizonte. Mistake by Daniel Alves, and it's taken up by Chile on the far side of the field. Now, will the cross come in toward the far post? No, it doesn't. It should have been aimed at Alexis Sanchez. Then a volleyed shot that bounces wide. Again, Julio Cesar had that covered. The effort from Diaz.
And there's been question marks over Dani Alves as well, Alan. I think that was a poor touch from him, and he's allowed Chile to get in behind him.
Alves, which was still uncertain, isn't it? You know, he's had a great time at Barcelona, but where will he be next? Probably Paris Saint-Germain. Now Neymar has come to the sideline to receive attention. I think that's a result of the challenge on him earlier that led to the free kick inside the centre circle.
Yes, I think so.
It's a problem with his knee, and Hardware is saying, look, if you're going to receive attention, you've got to go off the pitch. Phil Scolari talks to the referee. The game will resume. Neymar's out of the action for the moment. Scolari's complaining to the fourth official, but we shouldn't be surprised if the odd Chilean player says, you know, have that son, have that smack on your knee and see what it's like. I'm not approving it, I'm just saying it's going to happen. Now Hulk down the left side for Brazil, rushing forward, and that's a cross into the 6-yard box, easily caught by Bravo, the Chilean goalkeeper who plays for Real Sociedad in Spain. A long clearance towards the right side, and that's Marcelo jumping all over Alexis Sanchez. That's going to be a free kick to Chile. It's good that Webb isn't afraid to give free kicks at these early stages. Neymar's back on.
Hulk started on the left-hand side, Alan, today as well. You know, he may recognise that Isla's not the quickest. He's already tried to run him a couple of times. Decent start actually from Hulk and from Fred.
Yeah, I haven't seen Oscar at all, who's down the right side for Brazil at the moment. The whistles tell you that Chile have possession. It's hit forward. That's a great glancing head in the direction of Alexis Sanchez. Alexis Sanchez feeds the ball forward to the right side, and no, they can't get the cross in initially. Now Sanchez again crosses, easily headed away by Thiago Silva towards Fred, but a glancing header by Diaz, and it's back with Medel. But still, you know, you think of these back three: Silva of Osasuna, relegated; Medel of Cardiff, relegated; Yara, released by Nottingham Forest, and here they are playing on the ultimate stage in this wonderful stadium in Belo Horizonte, and we know that Chile are a threat to Brazil.
It is, and it's incredible really. You look at that back three. Isla on the right hand side, who playing as wing back, second choice at Juventus as well. We've got Mina on the other side, who plays in Santos. So they haven't got a hugely experienced back five really.
Medel clears to Alexis Sanchez, who spins inside the centre circle and feeds the ball off, and it's played to the left side by Vidal. Another cross from the left, wasn't a good one. Marcelo with a half volley clearance, and it's out of play on the far side of the field for a throw in to Chile. Brazil 0, Chile 0. You're listening to 5 Live. We played 9 minutes here in Belo Horizonte. Still, we await the first effort on goal. Here's Neymar. Neymar being hustled. Neymar holding off Silva. He tried to hack him down. Then it's played forward to Fernandinho. And did Hardware see a foul challenge there? No, he didn't. Or at least if he did, he thinks play should continue. And Bravo clears it over the halfway line. Glances off the head of Gustavo. Cleared by Marcelo. And untidy clearance from the left back. Drops beyond Neymar. Neymar jumps again. But he doesn't beat Medel in the air. Goodness, Medel, what a tough cookie he is.
He is. And you can see the reaction every time Neymar gets out on the corner. There's 3 players lock onto him. There's 1 or 2 that's going in with a few heavy challenges on Neymar. We know that he's the threat. We all know that as well. But he's the one that they're targeting. There's always some heavy challenges.
And it's a free kick to Chile. Silva plays it back to Medel. And then it goes to Diaz. Diaz back to Medel. Laundry pressure at the moment from Neymar. To Silva. And Silva clips it towards Alexis Sanchez, running towards the Brazilian penalty area. Good defensive header by Thiago Silva, and here's Marcelo, hard by the left flank for Brazil, high towards Neymar, good header down, lack of control there by Hulk, and the ball squirts away to the far side of the field. Bravo out of his penalty area to meet it, now back into the box. He can lift the ball if he wants to, doesn't, hits it clear, right footed towards Alexis Sanchez of Barcelona, who's been linked with Liverpool the last couple of days. Well, you know, Suarez going the other way. Good ball into the 6-yard box. That was stout defending by David Luiz. He made sure the Chilean player Vargas didn't get anywhere near that ball.
Just body check, Alan, wasn't it? Great break it was from Alexis Sanchez. He's the one as well that's been real creative spark for Chile up to now.
Here's Oscar down the right side, and he crosses on the volley. High into the Chile penalty area. Headed away by Silva. Neymar couldn't collect it when Chile was favourite to, and Chile managed to clear it. And then they lose possession. Then it's won back by Chile. They are aggressive, and they're not going to let Brazil settle on the ball for 1 second.
No, it's true, but Fernandinho himself, he's throwing his weight around a little bit at the moment. He's thrown himself into a few challenges, heavily relying on him and Gustavo as well to try and marshal that midfield just in front of David Luiz and Thiago Silva.
The winners of this game will of course go on to the quarter-final, where they would meet the winners of the match that kicks off at 5 o'clock local time, 9 o'clock UK time. That's Colombia against Uruguay, and that will be in the beautiful resort of Fortaleza. No one needs to encourage me to go to that game. Here's Hulk for Brazil over the halfway line, forward to Neymar, running down the left. Neymar checks inside of the challenge, has to check inside of another challenge. Oh, he's been hustled, and he loses the ball, and he almost left an opportunity there for someone to hack at him as he fell on the turf. But now Alexis Sanchez loses it. Marcelo for Brazil into Oscar. Marcelo again, edge of the D. Not a great pass. Chile hound them out, and it's cleared over the halfway line to safety.
It was a little opening though for Oscar, just to get it out of his feet, try and get a strike away. He's only 25 yards out. We've seen a few wonder goals in the tournament up to now.
Here's David Luiz trundling towards the centre circle to Fernandinho, and now to the left side, and Gustavo onto Hulk. Hulk now 10 yards inside Chile's half, runs away from Isla, plays a 1-2, Hulk into the penalty, goes down, Hardware looks, says no, appeals for a penalty, Webb ignores them.
Well, it was excellent from Hulk. He's got the beating of Isla down this side. He really reckoned that's maybe a ploy, like I'm saying with Scolari, bringing Hulk onto the left hand side. He can beat him one-on-one. That time,
look at Scolari. All the Brazilian substitutes out of the dugout. Scolari screaming at Hardware, and Hardware will ignore it.
His wrong side though, that is the only thing. Howard Webb is not too far away. He's on the spot. There was minimal contact when Hulk going over, but Isla is wrong side of him. If Hulk had continued his run, he's one-on-one with the keeper.
The thing about the bulk of Hulk is that when he falls over, everybody in the stadium feels it, because it rocks, doesn't it? You know, your chair moves. He's huge. Right, Gustavo breaking forward, and that was a foul challenge by Silva just on the edge of the Chile penalty area, so it's a free kick to Brazil. This is a really good position.
The Brazilians they look like they've got much more pace than the Chileans, and we've recognised Chilean side the way they play with a high energy, good pace, but Gustavo's broke forward a few times, Hulk broke forward, Neymar, they look like they've got a lot more pace than the Chilean backline.
Now, however good a goalkeeper Bravo is, he'll now be thinking, will this be a cross towards a tall Brazilian, or will Neymar try to swirl it beyond my left arm into the far top corner? It's a good angle. Yeah. It's only 4 paces from the front edge of the penalty area. It does invite a shot. And Neymar, we know, is good.
It's what you're saying as well. You put it into an area as well, and you just try and get Brazilian bodies across the goalkeeper, so it can be a cross-come shot, if you know what I mean. Just try the area that it's in, it's perfect. Neymar, put it in with pace, test the defence out.
The area of uncertainty surrounds Bravo, the Chilean goalkeeper. Neymar waits. 3 men in Chile's wall. Hardweb sees that they've actually stepped in front of the line. Neymar comes forward, swirls it in toward the far post, easily caught by Bravo.
Brilliant goalkeeping, absolutely brilliant, keeping hold of the ball as well. Really impressive in the tournament, Bravo, but it's a difficult ball to deal with, but dealt with it so well.
Let's get an update from Wimbledon. Philip Stad. Yeah, that's what I was just going to emphasise. If you prefer your Wimbledon tennis to your World Cup football, you can hear it uninterrupted on 5 Live Sports Extra. Now, down the far side of the field, Mena for Chile, up to a position level with the edge of the Brazilian penalty. Played back to Vidal. Vidal, great crossfield ball to Isla. Isla, oh goodness, that's putting the defence under pressure. Silva's lost it. Neymar there. Neymar into the penalty area. The angle, awkward, checks onto his right foot. No support really, apart from Fred. Neymar still has the ball. Now he feeds it in the direction of Oscar. Where was Oscar in the first place? Why wasn't he up there? It's cleared out of play by Chile for a throw.
He wasn't up there. He did go along with the support to support Neymar. Sorry, but Neymar's on his left foot. Just take the strike on his one-on-one with Vidal. Good break though from the Brazilians.
Throwing is taken, cleared by Chile. Oscar with an opportunity to cross from the right. Poor, lucky to get a throw in. As I say, I don't think Oscar's had a great World Cup. That's a handball. Even I can see from this distance with Cook fully 100 yards. Free kick, and it's a yellow card for Mena, and Mena would miss the quarter-final if Chile go through.
Stupid yellow card. The ball was played beyond him. There was no Brazilian player that was actually making the movement as well. Poor play from him yet. Clear yellow card. Good decision, Howard Webb.
Well, that'll disrupt Chile should they progress, but they've a huge hurdle to negotiate here in Belo Horizonte against the host Brazil. Not the best Brazilian team I've seen. I've seen many better sides than this, but on home territory, what a threat.
Togetherness as well, Alan, isn't it?
Free kick from the right. Hulk's going to play it in left-footed, and once more they'll be looking to test Bravo. Bravo crouching, Luis just in front of him. Then it's played in, Bravo punches it with both fists, and it skims off the top of those fists and behind for a corner.
Yeah, he did enough there, Bravo. Good ball played in from Hulk, good pace on it. An impressive Hulk at the start of this game.
So another corner. This time it's being left for Neymar to take rather than Hulk. It's from the left side, and Neymar will play it right-footed again in towards the goalkeeper. Oh, there's a chance to get her! On the far post was unmarked. Chilean defence could not cope, and every single Brazilian member of the squad embraces David Luiz. 18 minutes gone. Brazil celebrates, not just in this stadium, not just in this state, but in the whole of the country. They'll be going mad. David Luiz makes it Brazil 1, Chile 0.
It's just what we've spoken about, Alan. Set plays are going to be key for Brazil today, and it was proven there. Really good pacey cross-putting. Good header back across goal. I think it was from Hulk. And then David Luiz, he's just on the spot. Just got a little knee to it, I think it was. Just off his knee, deflected it goalwards. That was actually David Silva. Good header. Sorry, Thiago Silva. Great ball. Great little ball played in. Good goal from David Luiz.
Now, what a problem for Chile. What a problem for Chile. I kept thinking in the build-up to the match, Kevin. Kevin Kilban is our summariser here in Belo Horizonte. you're thinking, what if Chile could get the opening goal? What pressure there'd be on Brazil? Now, what pressure is there on Chile? How will they respond?
What a reaction as well. What about the crowd's reaction to that one in this stadium, Alan? Incredible.
I couldn't hear myself. It was great. It was great. So it matters. A World Cup to Brazil matters wherever it's played. But you play it in Brazil and you feel the tension. The country is alive. They care about the economy. They don't like the money that's being spent on the World Cup. But boy, are they still behind their team. Not behind their government, but behind their team. Brazil 1, Chile 0 into the 20th minute of the first half in Belo Horizonte. And they're swirling their scarves at the moment. It's a massive yellow all around this stadium. Apart from the odd pocket of red, I can count 4 in the far right-hand corner. But Chile supporters despair at seeing their team go behind. And Sampaoli, the Argentine coach of Chile, now has to find a way of getting back into the game. There's a free kick for a foul on Hulk. Free kick to Brazil. David Luiz is going to take it. David Luiz just taps it to Hulk, and Luiz sprints down the left side. Hulk ignores him, crosses towards Oscar, cleared by the defence, Medel. And then there's a foul on Alexis Sanchez, and it's going to be a free kick to Chile, short of the halfway line.
The energy in the game, Alan, is coming from the Brazilians in the Central League. That's what we see Chile. That is the strength, getting bodies around the ball, closing the opposition down. But it's coming from Brazil. They're stopping balls being played into up front, into Vidal, into Sanchez and Vargas, and they're the ones that's high energy play at the moment.
Yara to Silva for Chile. The red shirts of Chile need to respond. They trail 1-0 in Belo Horizonte now. It's chipped forward towards Brazil's penalty area. Not properly cleared on the first occasion by Thiago Silva, and then running back was Gustavo, and he smacks it out of play for a throw-in. No nonsense defending.
That was excellent defending as well from Thiago Silva, tracking the run.
And throwing goes to Vidal, and they still have the ball, Chile, and that's a foul, needless foul by Marcelo on Alexis Sanchez, and it's a free kick to Chile, 5 yards in from the right touchline. Diaz, who plays for Basel in Switzerland, will take the free kick. Now the trouble is, they bring players forward, Chile, as you would do in this scenario, where a free kick that's going to be floated into the penalty area, but you don't really have the height to trouble a team like Brazil. We'll see. We're not that far off the midway point in the first half. Brazil lead 1-0. There goes the free kick, headed up in the air by Thiago Silva, and then headed further, clear to safety by Brazil. Brought under control by Isla, and then he technically let himself down there. He almost gave the ball away to Neymar. He recovers, plays it back to the far side of Mena, and Mena hits it towards the right side for Chile, where Marcelo jumps and heads it out of play. We're at the midway point of the first half. Brazil with the breakthrough, lead 1-0 through David Luiz, and here's John Murray.
Thank you, Alan. Yes, good afternoon from me here in Belo Horizonte, with Brazil leading, but Chile on the attack with Vargas, who scored in his last 2 games against Brazil for Chile, but he can not find a teammate in red and blue, and then I noticed Medel has just dropped to the ground there after a bit of contact from Neymar, and Medel is furious. He leapt to his feet and was protesting immediately, arms waving to Howard Webb. And clearly, Neymar is the man who's made contact, and Howard Webb has just sort of crossed his arms to Medel and said, I'll deal with this, and let's just keep an eye on him to see whether Neymar is spoken to. We've not yet seen a replay of the incident, which is interesting. Bear in mind what happened in the opening game. Well, it is 1-0 to Brazil. I don't know whether you had much of a view of that, Kevin, of the incident involving Neymar.
Well, I think Neymar as well. Neymar's just getting himself caught up in a little bit of dissent at the moment as well. I think he's got to be careful. We know he's on a yellow card. He could be banned for that next game. So I think he's just got to contain himself a little bit. Just relax and just to try to get himself back in the game.
And we spoke about it. I know Alan mentioned it on air at the start of the commentary, but I think it's a very, very interesting subplot here for Howard Webb as the referee, particularly, as you've just mentioned, Kevin, the fact that Neymar is 1 yellow card away from suspension. And there whatever happened between Medel and Neymar, I don't think that Howard Webb has yet gone anywhere near Neymar. And the other point, when Neymar was fouled in the centre circle and came off the field, you know, Phil Scolari was down there on the touchline winding him up, I feel, you know, so Neymar has just got a little bee in his bonnet at the moment.
You just got to be careful as well. I think we know what he's going to get from Medel early in this game as well. Medal's been all over him and Fred and a few of the other players as well. We know it's going to come, so we've just got to try and keep the cool, don't react, and get on with the game.
And remarkably, on the pictures that we have in the stadium here on the televisions, and there are more televisions in this stadium than your favourite electrical shop, there, to my knowledge, there's not been a replay of the incident involving Medel and Neymar. And frankly, I'm not sure how much contact there was, but there must have been contact. There would have to be for Medel to have a reaction like that, which I would suspect that he overblew. Yeah. But there we are. So it's 1-0 to Brazil. 5 Live, BBC 5 Live, your home of Brazil 2014 on this special occasion. It really is to be here on this beautiful day in Belo Horizonte, the city living up to its name, watching Chile coming forward, but Alexis Sanchez is robbed of the ball, but Chile still have it on the left-hand side, and the cross from Mena is blocked. Then a right-footed ball to the edge of the box. Cheers for every Brazilian touch. This time it was Oscar who cleared, and now Neymar. Chileans arriving on the scene. Neymar takes on the defender Silva into the area, but drags his shot well wide. Silva did recover actually, and Neymar mishit it across goal and well beyond Bravo's far post.
Well, it's an excellent touch from Fred. Good little knockdown for Neymar. He's got the running on him, hasn't he? Every time you know he's going to go at Silva, he's going to go and try and beat him one-on-one. Good run from him. Did it before as well, but didn't take the shot on. That time he did. Just poor execution.
So the goal came in the 18th minute. A corner from Neymar on the left-hand side that was flicked on by Thiago Silva on the edge of the 6-yard box, and David Luiz was there just a couple of yards out at the back post just to deflect it in with his leg. So David Luiz, who didn't score for Chelsea all season, unusually, scores this really important goal for Brazil here to put them 1-0 up on Chile. And my, how they celebrated, the two central defenders. And I know, Kevin, you said at the time David Silva, but it was a David Silva goal, wasn't it? It was David Luiz and Thiago Silva, the two central defenders.
Caught up a little bit in that one there, yeah, but it was actually a good header from Thiago Silva. He got him across the bodies, and this is where they're susceptible, the Chileans. They struggle on corners and set plays, and it was proved there.
But there is a great deal to this Chile team. And I know that you've probably, if you have paid attention to the build-up to this game, you're probably aware of the welter of statistics that favour Brazil in terms of the historical happenings between these teams. Brazil knocked them out last 2 times that Chile have been to the World Cup. Famously, Brazil beat Chile in their own World Cup semi-final in 1962. But this is a different Chile team. You could argue that this is the best team that Chile have ever had. But 1-0 Brazil lead, with the atmosphere around the ground as Silva comes in heavily on Neymar, right on the halfway line, near the dugouts. And again, for Scolari and his staff, Carlos Alberto Pereira there as well, I see walking out of the 6-yard box, jabbing his finger at the 4th official, who's a German, and at Howard Webb as well. And Neymar's okay, and it's a free kick to Brazil.
They are targeting though, aren't they? That time they say it was Silva, whether it's Medel Silva or even Harrow on the either side of him, they're looking for him. They're the ones that they recognise he's going to be the key man, and they're trying to unsettle him. If he gets that card as well, is he going to be mentally right to go through the continuation of the game? That's going to be the one.
Just be handed a note as well, suggesting that the final touch for the goal might have been off Yara. I mean, the two of them were right together at the time, and sort of almost legs intertwined. But that will be sorted out, I'm sure, by the video people. Now the ball with Dani Alves down the right-hand side. Pulls the ball into the penalty area. Fred slipped over and throws his arms into the air as Chile clear it away. And Fernandinho blocks the clearance. So Brazil are still pressing Chile back here. And then Silva just lamps it out of play on the halfway line. So 1-0 Brazil. BBC 5 Live say this South American occasion, it's very much a South American day in every sense of this World Cup. And now Neymar has collided with Vidal. It was an aerial challenge. There didn't seem to be too much in that to me. And Neymar has ended up, he fell heavily, and then there was a couple of rolls from him. And the two of them have just collided there, really, and Neymar's ended up on his back.
Yeah, again, there's nothing really too much. That time Vidal, he just actually turned his back on him. That's
Vidal's just held his ground.
Yeah, just turning his back on him, going over the top of his thigh. weekend. He's given the free kick. That's about it, really, isn't it? It's not a booking.
Yeah. So, Scolari is not happy. And there's another wave of the arms from Scolari. And he's got his hands on his hips now. The double teapot, as they call it in the cricketing world. And Neymar is still down on the surface. He's a little like Lionel Messi, isn't he, Neymar? He takes so many bangs and knocks and yet almost invariably seems to be able to get up and carry on. But he's still just sitting down there. He's sitting up. He's rubbing the side of his head and his left leg as well. I mean, a nation waits here with bated breath on Neymar. And you probably have to be with us here in Brazil to be aware of just how all-pervading Neymar is in terms of wherever you go. I mean, David Luiz gets a bit of a look in, Marcelo, Thiago Silva, but it is Neymar, Neymar, Neymar. And all you have to do is look down the stadium in front of us at the backs of the shirts down in front, and they are all number 10 shirts. Neymar Jr., as he's called. Well, he's back up on his feet, so a nation's relieved. Free kick played into the edge of the penalty area. It's headed away by Chilli, and then a slip by Hook, so Chilli have got it back. Just in the shadows now, in this enormous bowl of a stadium that holds almost 60,000 people, the majority in Brazilian yellow. Now, Brazil have won it back. Ball chipped forward by Luis Gustavo to the edge of the area, but it was dealt with there by Medel, who has shrugged off whatever sort of injury he had, a muscle injury, they said, Gary Medel. And he's actually just now, Medel, as Chile win a free kick halfway inside their own half, just looking as though he might be in a little bit of pain, Medel. But Bravo, the captain, the goalkeeper, comes out just to check, because he's such an important player for Chile. Gary Medel in the middle of the three central defenders. Free kick which is taken 10 yards away from where it happened, but Howard Webb's happy to allow it to continue. So up it goes towards the excellent Vidal. And now a run down into the full-back position by Aranguiz, who plays it back to Vidal, edge of the penalty area. Vidal twisting, turning, three Brazilians in front of him, and then couldn't find the pass to Isla here on the right-hand side. And Brazil should clear it, which they do, but they only give it back to Diaz. Now there is purpose in this Chilean move. And then it is chipped by Alexis Sanchez to the left-hand side. Mena heads it across. And there's Thiago Silva to whack it, volley it out of play over the advertising hoardings on the left-hand side.
Yeah, Howard Webb just having words with Fernandinho there. He's got caught up in a few challenges early on as well. He's got to be careful.
Chile back in play again. And now Hara lifts it forward into the penalty area where Vidal stretches for it, but with Marcelo there, the ball bounces out of play for what is given as a Brazilian throw. So throw into Brazil, deep inside their own territory. So I think we can get another update from Philip Studd at Wimbledon.
We have a result here, John, under the roof on centre court, and what a performance from the former champion Maria Sharapova. She's dismissed the challenge.
And scores, and Chile have equalised. Brazil had a throw-in in their own left-back position, and how they lost possession there, goodness only knows. But the ball fell to Alexis Sanchez. He looked up, saw his chance, right foot shot, and Julio Cesar diving down to his right, couldn't save it, and Chile have equalised. It's Brazil 1, Chile 1.
Well, it was a quickly taken free kick, it was from Marcelo. Poor touch it was from Hulk, and then the ball was played back across the box. David Silva, keep saying that name, sorry. David Luiz is out of position. Sanchez, great finish. Was a great finish from him, one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Brilliant finish. Out beyond Julio Cesar, good goal.
So Alexis Sanchez strikes for Chile, and it's 1-1. And now, just when Brazil felt that they were in the driving seat, what a sloppy goal. What a sloppy goal to concede.
It was a poor touch from Hulk initially, wasn't he? Not unable to find Marcelo. Marcelo wasn't able to make the challenge. Then the ball did break to Sanchez. Good finish from him. Game on now.
Right, we'll let Philip Studd finish what he was saying. Philip's at Wimbledon. Phil.
Yeah, Sharapova, John, safely through to the second week of Wimbledon, and what a performance she's put on against Alison Risk of the United States, who started well. She led 3-1 with a break, but that was the cue for an 11-game blitz from the 2004 champion here, Sharapova. She's through 6-3, 6-love.
Congratulations, with the exception of the start
Thank you,
of the match.
Philip. And commentary continues on 5 Live Sports Extra from Wimbledon all the way till 10 o'clock tonight. But here on 5 Live, Brazil 1, Chile 1, and all square, and the Brazilians in the stadium just a little subdued. and it is Chilean noise that you can hear in their various sections. You know, the official word as Chile come forward again with Isla into the penalty area, but it bounces off Aranguiz through for a goal kick. The official word was something like 7,000 Chilean supporters would be between 7,000 and 9,000 Chilean supporters would be inside the ground. I don't think it's really anywhere near that, but they are celebrating wildly and singing their songs. And a goal kick for Brazil, for Julia Cesar, who I felt was down a little late for the Alexis Sanchez shot that produced the equaliser as well, incidentally, from the right side of the penalty area.
Well, the position they were in, John, as well, it was such a poor position. They're in their own corner, of course they are, but I mean, the touch from Holt was poor. It was actually Vargas. He nicked in front of Marcelo, won the ball. Once it's fallen to Sanchez, I think it's just the early strike. He just took it early, and Cesar couldn't get down to it.
Apparently the FIFA information system in the stadium is still crediting David Luiz with the goal, and as producer Phil points out, David Luiz certainly claimed it in the way that he celebrated, running away into the shadows to the corner flag. I thought we were never going to get on with the game, actually. I hope they had the time on at the end of the first half. Celebrations seem to take longer and longer and longer at this World Cup, but of course they're great moments. Here's Neymar, who plays it to Dani Alves, who works the ball to Oscar now on the right-hand side, and Oscar's cross is headed by Neymar, wide! Whoa, I thought that was destined for the bottom corner. Took a deflection, actually, headed it into a Chilean, so it's a corner.
Brilliant play from Brazil, good incisive pass. It was a lovely ball played to the far post from Oscar. It was just actually...
It was on target, Kevin.
Off Silva, it was a good header, wasn't it? Good downward header off the back of Silva.
Corner then for Brazil. Here it is towards the back post. Thiago Silva stretches for it, gets ahead to Claudio Bravo has come a long way, the goalkeeper, and it's blocked on the edge of the penalty area. Luis Gustavo with a shot. It's rattling around inside the box. Chile still haven't cleared it. Silva then stretches and gets his head to it, and Chile are able to work it away up towards the Chilean goal scorer Alexis Sanchez, who I thought might have been fouled, but Howard Webb says no. But still Chile managed to win it back with Mena, the left wing back, who's making ground down the left hand side, and then Marcelo's across there, the left back, to block it out of play off Mena for throwing to Brazil. Kevin Kilbane.
I think that moment there as well is Claudio Bravo. I think what it is, I think he feels as though that the team's going to be under pressure every set play that's come into the box, so he's got to try and do something. This is the difficulty he's got. He's got to catch. Is he going to come out and help his defence, or is he going to stay in his line?
David Luiz with a fantastic pass, 60 yards or more to Oscar, who played it. Well, he tried to bring it down and was perhaps a little fortunate in that it bounced off Yara and bounced behind for a corner to Brazil on the far side, with less than 10 minutes of the first half to go here in Belo Horizonte in this lovely setting, and a corner to Brazil that will be swung across from the right hand side to the near post, and Fernandinho went for it, so did the defender, and the touch was off Isla and behind for another corner from the right. So Brazil with David Luiz stationed at the far post, as he was when he scored the opening goal, and obviously Thiago Silva and Fred are the targets. Here it is, the delivery, and Claudio Bravo comes flying forward, threw himself into the air and punched it away, just over the head of all of the outfield players. Dani Alves swings the ball to the right, stretched by Oscar to lift it into the penalty area, but not where he would have liked, and so Chile are able to clear. 1-1 the score if you've just joined us on 5 Live on this Saturday tea time, I suppose it'll be, back home. This game kicking off 1 o'clock in the afternoon here in Belo Horizonte in the warmest conditions of the day. Here's David Luiz turning one way and the other on the left wing, crossing, blocked away inside the box, and then Vidal, who is being put under pressure by David Luiz illegally, says Howard Webb, and David Luiz just says something to him as well, to Vidal, and Howard Webb sprints across and just sends David Luiz away to the halfway line.
Yeah, David Luiz had him in trouble there as well, Vidal. He was checking and turning. Gustavo came in behind him, he could have nicked the ball off him, didn't really need to make the challenge.
That's Kevin Kilbane, 110 caps for the Republic of Ireland, and Kevin, who played in the World Cup at this stage of the tournament. Pressure occasions. Yeah, goodness me, you can feel it, can't you, inside this stadium here. As Alan was suggesting earlier, we're in the knockout stage now, last 16 of the competition. This could be the day that Brazil go out. And then the reaction, I think, inside Brazil, inside the country, I think we're all waiting to see what it would be were that situation to come to pass. But it's a free kick to Brazil in the central third of the field. And now a long ball from Oscar, aiming for Neymar, chested down inside the box, he's away from Silva, Neymar still going, and the ball runs to Fred, who lifts it over the crossbar. From what, 7 yards? What a chance.
I mean, it was a great ball, it really was. I think it's Dani Alves on to Neymar, brilliant touch, back inside Silva, and it was actually, I think it was Yara, he didn't know that, no, it's Isla actually, he didn't know that Fred was coming in behind him, didn't have no awareness at all, and Fred then, he should have maybe just gone in with a bit more conviction on the challenge, and he'd have scored.
But it went over the bar by maybe 3 yards, and that could have been Brazil back in front quite easily. So 1-1 it remains. David Luiz in the 18th minute, and Alexis Sanchez in the 33rd. Alexis Sanchez scoring his second goal of the tournament. Free kick to Brazil in the centre circle, and Silva is being called across and shown the yellow card. Francisco Silva, so that is him potentially out of the quarter-final, just like Mena. So 2 of the Chilean players on yellow cards have been booked by Howard Webb. Free kick to Brazil.
The struggling Chile on long diagonal balls, that is the one that they really need to get themselves organised on.
Dani Alves in the sunshine, about 3/4 of the field is in this bright Brazilian sunshine. Cross in from the right, cleared away, but a little slip, but it falls for Luis Gustavo, and then an excellent challenge from Vidal. Still Brazil though. Marcelo left-footed ball into the penalty area, but it's beyond Fernandinho, who is twisting as he was challenged by Mena, and it bounces through for a goal kick. So 1-1 the score.
Yeah, Neymar just in a position there for Marcelo, just looking to go in behind, didn't want the diagonal ball to be played.
5 minutes to go to half-time. What's your overview, Kevin, on what we've seen so far?
I think Chile are quite fortunate actually to be in the game. It was a poor goal for the Brazilians to concede. I think Brazil have started with high tempo, caused all the problems. I think they're slightly unfortunate that they've allowed the Chileans to equalise.
But equalise they did, and it is 1-1. As I say, a South American occasion here in Brazil. We are but interested European observers, aren't we, today? But interested we are. Some great sights around the place. And I went outside and had a look at the concourse in the build-up to kick-off, and it was just magnificent in the sunshine, all of those happy people in yellow shirts, as Chile send a long pass forward, but the offside flag is up, with 2 Chileans. Certainly Arturo Vidal was sliding in closest to getting contact on that, but Mike Malarkey, Howard Webb's assistant, raised his flag, and a free kick to Brazil, who are quickly off over the halfway line with the bleach-haired Dani Alves, and then it's played back by Oscar into his own half. And Thiago Silva, the captain, is actually winning his 50th cap for Brazil today. Thiago Silva swings the ball towards the left-hand side, and Neymar, this World Cup's joint top scorer currently. Neymar, Dani Alves shoots from distance, and Claudio Bravo, backpedaling, was underneath it, got a good side of it, and leaping, pushed it up over the crossbar.
Yeah, it was comfortable. Good strike though from Alves. Good little run from Neymar. It's a tremendous movement on the ball, wasn't it? Bravo right behind it, touched over the crossbar.
1-1. Corner to Brazil from the left-hand side as half-time approaches. Brazil scored from a corner from this side. Neymar plays it in, and it's over the top of the jump of Thiago Silva. David Luiz is first to catch up with it in the full-back position. Has Oscar there behind him. David Luiz with a stationary ball at his feet. A little samba move from him, and then he plays it into Diaz and wins a throw-in near the corner flag on the far side. Dani Alves arrives on the scene. Oscar, I think, is going to leave it to him. He is. So Dani Alves takes it to Oscar, and Alves, now very closely watched by Mena, concedes another throw. Dani Alves again, once again to Oscar. He's trying to get into a position to cross it, but Diaz is there. Diaz wins the throw-in for Chile. I love this Chilean midfield three of Diaz, Aranguiz and Vidal. I saw them against the Dutch when Vidal was rested. Chile were already through to the last 16, and they are a very different proposition when Vidal is there as well. And Chile have lost it carelessly. It was Alexis Sanchez, and now Fred in with half a chance, shoots from an angle, but it's blocked. Fred again, left-footed cross. Bravo dives forward, punches it away, and the danger is gone temporarily. But Hulk now shooting from distance, but Bravo knew that was going well wide by 5 or 6 yards. Goal kick Chile.
That time Chileans getting themselves in all sorts of problems, giving the ball away in their own third. Fred again, he's got him behind, he's just got to try and get the strike, you know, just go for power really. He's trying to go for a bit more accuracy into the corner. It was a comfortable save.
So it remains Brazil 1, Chile 1. If you're on the move, Colombia, Uruguay is the next game. 9 o'clock tonight, you'll hear that live from the Maracanã. Chris Waddle will be alongside Mike Ingham and Ian Dennis for the commentary, so that is 9 o'clock tonight. We should say as well, with this game being a live match on BBC television at the moment, the ball is won back by Neymar, and now Brazil coming forward threateningly. Neymar forced wide inside the penalty area, chips it across, and it's headed off Fred and Fernandinho. He might have been better, Fred, leaving it for Fernandinho there, and he's fallen awkwardly, Fred, possibly injuring his right leg, or is that just covering up for the inadequacy in that position?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great run from Neymar, got to the byline, pulled it back. Fernandinho's in a perfect position, and Fred's always going to be stretching for it. All it needs is a bit of communication from Fernandinho behind him. Fred leaves it, and he's get a free header on target.
And Scolari down there on the touchline, he's got something of the Yorkshire farmer about him, Scolari, don't you think? Yeah. He turned round and he sort of breathed out through his nose with his lips firmly together, as if to say, come on. And Fred is okay. And now Thiago Silva is closed down by Alexis Sanchez, who was all over him there. And this is something else that Chile do. And now it's won back by Vidal to Alexis Sanchez. Alexis Sanchez into the penalty area on the right, plays it across. Oh, chance here, Aranguiz. Shot was blocked. Ball's on the dead ball line, and David Luiz has been able to ferret it out and put it behind for a corner.
It's great pressure from Vidal. Once he finds Sanchez as well, it's a lovely little slotted pass through to him. He couldn't get the shot away, he couldn't get the power on it, could he? It was a good challenge in the end from Luiz.
I've seen this, Kevin, having watched 2 of their matches already. They are all over the opposition when they have the ball in those positions. And there, Alexis Sanchez, such an incredibly hard worker, as well as a talented goal scorer. And very nearly, Chile had a chance to take the lead right at the end of the first half. Had the shot from Aranguiz not being blocked, but they still have a chance. Diaz to take this corner in added time. Diaz with the corner, it's a deep one, and it's headed down and away by Thiago Silva, the Brazilian captain, and behind for another corner. 2 minutes of added time to play, and we are in the second of those 2 minutes. He could have added 2 minutes on for the goal celebrations alone. Diaz again with the corner for Chile. Here it is, an out swinger which is headed away by Fred and then pumped back in. I'm not entirely sure what that was, that effort from Mena, but it was nowhere near the goal, and it's a goal kick to Brazil and Julio Cesar. Yeah,
Chile are certainly a different proposition from the Brazilians in the Chilean area, aren't they? They're not comfortable on their own set plays, yet of course Brazil every time the ball's been played into the box, they're comfortable. They've got David Luiz, they've got Silva in there, always looking to go and attack the ball.
So it is 1-1. Oh, indecision in the Chilean back line. And now Neymar's after it, but Medel is in there. And there's the half-time whistle. Well, it'll be interesting here. It'll be interesting to see what Scolari has got to say to Howard Webb, because I think there is a feeling that Neymar received, shall we say, too much rough treatment from Chile. And Howard Webb's just walking away into the centre circle, and there's a little bit of pushing and shoving here. Fred's involved. And Medel, you wouldn't want to pick a fight with Gary Medel. And now David Luiz has gone across to Howard Webb. I mean, clearly they will know each other very, very well, David Luiz and Howard Webb, and the two of them are in discussions. And apparently Fred just put his hand to Medel's head, I'm told. TV pictures have shown that. It looked like it might have been a kind of slap. I've not seen it myself yet, but that's what I'm hearing. And so we've got to keep an eye on that as well. So with the dust just beginning to settle on the first half, it's 1-1, Kevin Kilbane.
Yeah, just a little bit of coming together. This is something to look out for in the second half. Little things are going to flare up. There's going to be a lot more challenges going in. Medel keeps his cool. Does Neymar keep his cool as well? Because there's been a lot of heavy treatment on him. I think Brazil have been much the better side, yet they've gifted Chile in that equaliser.
Thank you, Kevin. So, from Belo Horizonte here inside the stadium with the score Brazil 1, Chile 1, it's back to Rio and Mark Pugac.
I hope so. It certainly matched the tension. 1-1, Brazil took the lead, and despite Mark's reservations, the goal, according to FIFA and according to the host broadcaster, is definitely that of David Luiz. No question about the equaliser. Alexis Sanchez, wretched defending by Brazil. And I think Brazil will be very nervous now for the second half.
That goal certainly showed that as well. I mean, going back to the Luiz goal, we've watched it. How many times we watched that replay at half-time? And there's angles it looks like
there's a touch off Yara.
Yes.
But, you know, my own instinct at the time was that Luiz's was the final touch. And,
it looks like he's got a slight a touch just to direct it goalwards. But it's such a difficult one to call. We've seen it in so many different angles as well.
Well, there'll be no changes at the start of the second half in either 11. Chile are already out on the pitch, and they know that should they reach the quarterfinals, then 2 of this 11 will miss it, because Silva and Mena have both been yellow carded. It's the second of the tournament, so they'll be suspended if they get there. Their goalkeeper is Bravo. Their 3 centre-backs are Silva, Medel and Yara. Then we've got Isla, Aranguiz, Diaz and Mena. Then Vidal, who's had a really good game. Then Vargas and Alexis Sanchez. Brazil's goalkeeper is Julio Cesar. Their defence, Alves, Thiago Silva, David Luiz and Marcelo. Then Gustavo and Fernandinho. Then Hulk, Neymar and Oscar. And finally Fred. And only Neymar of that 4 has actually contributed. The rest have been disappointing again.
I think Hulk for the first 15-20 minutes, you've seen glimpses, didn't you? That was the thing. He was so woeful touch for that Chilean goal. I think overall they've been heavily reliant again on Neymar to produce the magic for them.
Hardwebb is the referee from England, and I think Hardwebb has actually had a very good game. And I'm not always defending him, trust me. On the far side of the field, Isla runs forward, but he runs into Marcelo, and Marcelo in his yellow shirt, white short and white socks plays it to the left side, and here's Neymar to the left of the penalty area. 2 defenders across him, and they've been doubling up or trebling up on Neymar every time he gets the ball, and as a consequence even his brilliance has been subdued.
It is, and Silva, he's the one that's getting exploited at times, isn't he?
Oscar to Fred. Fred hooks it onto the right side. Dani Alves with a volley cross high into the penalty area, taken down off the chest of Neymar. And Neymar crosses low left-footed. Medel with a diving header clear. Chile, by the way, in their red shirts, blue shorts and blue socks, and they're on the counter-attack here. It's played to Vidal on the far side of the field. Alexis Sanchez is available in a central position. Vidal tried to move in of Marcelo's challenge. It was a David Luiz on the far side of the field. It was a foul challenge. And he's protesting to the assistant, but it's a free kick.
It is a free kick. Sanchez made that happen, that attack, with a really good challenge on Marcelo. Once he's gone away down the right-hand side, he's out of position, isn't he, Luiz? He's had to come over into the full-back position.
Marcelo's down, quote, injured in the other half of the field. I think he's okay. He's getting to his feet now. Hardwebb just checking that he's all right. But the atmosphere is subdued.
Yes,
there's not the tingle that we had before the game, the tingle of excitement, anticipation from Brazilian fans, overwhelmingly dominant inside this beautiful arena, the Estadio Mineiro. But that Chilean equaliser has set them back, rocked them back. They're nervous. They're really nervous, Brazil. And I think FIFA will be nervous. The last thing FIFA wants is Brazil to go out. As if we care what FIFA thinks. Anyway, the free kick's going to be taken by Diaz. It's towards the far side of the field. There's only one player in the Brazilian wall, so Diaz can swing this ball into the penalty area. Julio Cesar crouching a couple of yards ahead of his goal line in the third minute of the second half. There it goes high. Julio Cesar gets both fists on the ball, punches it clear, headed further away by Oscar, and here's Neymar midway inside his own half. Neymar swings the ball towards Daniel Alves ahead of the fullback though, and Chile have got players back, sufficient players back to evade any danger, and they cleared over the halfway line towards Alexis Sanchez, their goal scorer. He's tackled and beaten by Neymar, but the ball squirts back, and it's now with Thiago Silva, the Brazilian captain.
You can see what Neymar was trying to do, was just trying to set Dani Alves away.
David Luiz, that's a terrible ball clear for him. It's played towards Alexis Sanchez, and his first, it was Vargas, and his first touch being better. There was pressure then on the Brazilian defence, but his first touch wasn't good. Brazil have the ball and they cleared. Marcelo's okay. On to Oscar. Oscar playing down the left in the second half, Hulk on the right. So they've switched flanks.
Yeah, and he started well, didn't he, Hull? He started well. He was trying to get at Silva every time. Even Isla recognised one-on-one. He was able to exploit them. But he was struggling really in the last 10 or 15 minutes of the half.
And Kevin Kilbane, it's not my imagination, the atmosphere is relatively subdued in comparison to what it was at the start of the match.
Definitely. Considering how buoyant and how vibrant it was at the start of the game.
Marcelo to Oscar on the far side of the field. Brazilian left into Marcelo again. Neymar leaves it. Shot driven in, just wide. Bravo had it covered again. Fernandinho's effort.
It's great play though, Alan, wasn't it? Really good play. Marcelo with a lovely ball played into, meant to be for Neymar. Good little dummy. Once it found Fernandinho, good touch. Decent hit from him, but as you say, Bravo is in the right position, isn't he? Got really good positional sense around his area, hasn't he?
He's commanding, I mean, and he has to be, because they're relative diddy men in front of him. Yeah, okay, Medel is a monster, but he's a small monster, and so Bravo has to dominate. Chile have the ball on the far side with Isla into Diaz. Diaz swings the pass towards the left side. Alexis Sanchez touch not great, and look who's back challenging him. Neymar, ball's out of play off Neymar. It's going to be a throw into Chile, right in front of Phil Scolari, who waves a despairing paw at Hardweb. He doesn't like the refereeing. He's wrong, Scolari. Here's Aranguiz into Diaz, and Diaz onto the far side of the field, and Silva to Aranguiz once more. Oh, that's clever play by Vidal, allowing the ball to run behind him, and Chile on the attack here. Alexis Sanchez to the left of the Brazilian penalty, dances one way and the other, then crosses in low to Vidal. Vidal's pass wasn't great, and Brazil knocked the clearance over the halfway line. But Brazil, have not started the second half well.
You haven't. Chile on top, got to say that. I think Brazil with a better side throughout the first half. It gifted Chile that equaliser, but Chile have come out and looked really good at the start of this half.
That's a hurried pass out of defence though by Medel, running straight to Marcelo on the far side, tapping it back, and in it goes to Neymar, edge of the centre circle, and look, immediately three red shirts converge on Neymar, and almost inevitably they take the ball away from the Brazilian number 10, Alexis Sanchez, who took the goal really well, but it was horrible defending by Brazil. We said before kickoff, this Brazilian defence had not been tested properly, and Chile would do that, mano a mano. That's what the Argentine coach wants. He says we're here as contenders, and I think they are contenders, and boy, if they get past this hurdle, anything is possible for Chile. Run one here on 5 Live, Brazil and Chile and Belo Horizonte. And remember, of course, now that we're in the knockout stage, if necessary, we've got extra time and penalty kicks. Could Brazil, as a nation, stand penalty kicks? Will they be looking on the Copacabana beach? Will they be hiding their eyes?
Tension inside in this stadium, if that's the case.
Would they be dashing with the sharks off Recife, off the coral reef? Anything to avoid looking at a television set. Throwing to Brazil on the far side of the field. Marcelo to take it, 20 yards short of the halfway line. I'm not saying they're jittery, Brazil, but they haven't made a good impact at the start of the second half.
No, they haven't. Disappointing again, Oscar. I have to say that. I think he's been really disappointing. He's not involved in basically anything when Brazil have been going forward. An isolated figure.
Good touch by Vidal into Isla running into the right side, but he ran in to Fernandinho, and now Brazil can counter-attack here. Another fair challenge, aggressive challenge, wing the ball back from Chile. They're not frightened. Chile smashed the ball upfield. It's ahead of Alexis Sanchez though, bounces once and through to Julio Cesar, the Brazilian goalkeeper.
Just got to move the ball in, hasn't he? He's free there, Neymar. He's got Oscar on his left hand side. Free him up. He's isolated there, one-on-one.
Dani Alves with a high cross into the penalty. That's easy for Bravo. And I don't know if you feel the same way, but I've noticed that both Brazilian fullbacks, maybe because they're faced by Isla and Mena are not getting forward as much as they have done in previous games.
Yeah, possibly. And both the Chilean fullbacks are actually they're disappointing when they're one-on-one positions, but they see their biggest strength as getting forward, try and impose yourself on the opposition. And you say Alves especially isn't getting forward.
Here's the ball, one to lose, wing back to Mena. Oh, his cross was overhit well ahead of Vargas, and it bounces harmlessly through the Brazilian penalty area, and Marcelo will clear in the far side of the field. Brazilian left, driving it forward. Neymar chases after it, and out comes Bravo with his penalty, and I think the bounce of the ball deceived him, and then he showed what an excellent footballer he is. He just chested it down and cleared it. He can play upfield.
I think it's a slick surface that's just deceived him just for a second. He's come out of the area, you think he's going to have to clear it, and it's just bounced through quickly to his chest. But as you say, wonderful composure from him.
I wonder if he fancies playing outfield.
Yeah.
You know?
Most of these South American keepers do, don't they?
Yeah. Neymar on the far side. Neymar's actually in the penalty. It was Oscar on the far side of the field. It's a poor cross from Oscar. Someone tell me that he's playing well, because I don't see it. Gustavo flicks the ball towards the edge of the Chilean penalty. Once more, they deal with it relatively comfortably. Now the clearance runs to Vargas on the far side of the field. He's tackled by David Luiz, loses it. Marcelo crosses it in the front. Great kiss to goal. And it's a 2-1 lead. 2-1 lead for Brazil. Oh, we berated them. What excellent control in the penalty area from Marcelo's deep cross. He brought the ball down and then left-footed slipped it to the right of Bravo. Oh, what's happened? It's disallowed. Handball. Oh, you're a bad boy, Hulk. I always said so. I thought its control was brilliant. It's not standing. It's 1-1.
Well, it was a great ball, wasn't it, Marcelo? Great diagonal pass.
I tell you what, he chested that ball down. I don't think that was a handball.
It was a shin as well, wasn't it? He didn't get hold of the strike too well. It was just basically at the top of his left arm, wasn't it? He's trying to integrate to Howard Webb there and the assistant. Just a little bit behind me, it was just trying to get it back into his path. It's a great moment, but unfortunately ruled out.
I think he's unlucky there, Hulk. I do. But anyway, the English officials, led by Howard Webb, say no goal. So it's Brazil 1, Chile 1. 10 minutes gone in the second half. Chile have the ball down the left side, and Dani Alves hustling Alexis Sanchez, but not taking the ball off him. And it's Diaz who strikes it towards the right side. Isla crosses deep into the penalty area, and Julio Cesar was scrambling there, just got his right hand to the ball and flicked it behind for a corner.
Yeah, it was uncomfortable. Did enough though, didn't it? Just adds to the tension, doesn't it, that disallowed goal in the stadium.
We're going to have a change. It's going to be a Chilean change. Vargas is coming off. Does he have an injury? Gutierrez will come on. So we've played 11 minutes in the second half here on 5 Live. Now Gutierrez essentially is a sort of attacking midfield player, like Vidal. But Vargas is off a discernible limp. Big moment for the linesman, Mike Malarkey, that. I think it was his decision that Hulk could handle the ball. Corner to Chile, played in, headed away by the near post by Brazil. Cleared to the far side, into the sunshine. The shadow of the roof of this wonderful stadium just creeping across the playing surface now. It will shortly reach the centre circle, but it's a beautiful afternoon, and the whole of Brazil is holding its breath.
Yeah, just
1-1, having taken the lead.
And saying that disallowed goal and just adds to the tension, doesn't it? Just creates more tension for these Brazilian fans and the country that's watching, all the bars, all the houses all around this country.
Chile aren't frightened. Alexis Sanchez steps away from Fernandinho, who brings him down. And look at Scolari's reaction to Howard Webb. Goodness gracious. Howard Webb's completely ignoring him. Scolari's only a couple of yards behind him. Well, he was good enough to referee the World Cup final 4 years ago. Since then, he's had his bad moments in terms of the Premier League in England and the odd Champions League moment, but I think he's handled this game well today. Not everybody agrees.
No, that's it. I mean, I think he has as well, actually. I do. I think he's been key. He's let a couple of tackles ride early on in the game. people might say that if it is a yellow card, if it is a booking, he's got to set a precedent and give the bookings early, but he has to let the game flow as much as possible, and probably down to the players a lot of the time, he's not been able to do that.
There is an increasing anxiety about Brazil's play out there. They're not attacking with any great momentum. Though that's a good ball forward by David Luiz. Excellent control initially by Neymar, then he's tackled by Isla, and it's out of play for a throw-in on the far side of the field, midway inside the Chilean half. Brazilian left. Neymar throws to Marcelo. Neymar takes it up again. He's such a critical player. And it goes to Oscar. Oscar's return pass was awful. What a World Cup he's having.
It's poor touch from him, it really is.
Some people actually thought he played really well in the first game.
I think the goal overshadows everything, doesn't it, Alan?
Yeah, and it was a great goal.
It was.
Now, pressure put on the Chilean defender on the far side of the field. Unfair pressure by Gustavo, and it's a free kick to Chile. They are gaining in confidence.
They are.
If they score another goal, the Chile can come from behind to lead. Brazil, FIFA, and the tournament will tremble. Free kick to be taken by Bravo out of his penalty area. 14 minutes gone in the second half here on 5 Live. Your World Cup station, Brazil 2014. He's on the far side to the excellent Vidal. I say excellent, then he loses the ball to Marcelo. Marcelo runs it away, but only into the possession of the red shirts. And that looks like a foul. Clear foul, yes. And it's going to be a free kick, and it's a yellow card. And who's he shown the yellow card to? The foul is on Vidal. It's Gustavo. And Gustavo will miss the next game if Brazil go through to the quarterfinals.
Yeah, correct decision as well. Very, very late from behind on Vidal. Vidal just moved the ball too quick for Gustavo there. And Gustavo's been very niggly. I think the two of them in midfield as well, both him and Fernandinho. A lot of, just fouls off the ball to a second or so late every single time the ball's been moved on.
Quarter of an hour played in the second half here in Belo Horizonte. Brazil won, Chile won. After Brazil had taken the lead through David Luiz, the equaliser by Alexis Sanchez, and it'll be Alexis Sanchez who's going to take this free kick. Left-footed, swirling in and straight onto the forehead of Fernandinho, who heads it out of play. It wasn't Fernandinho, it was Fred. Heads it out of play on the far side of the field. Throw into Chile. Thrown back into their own half. Look, Brazil had everybody back with that free kick. They didn't even leave one token forward up in hope of a counter-attack. It's down the near side of the field with Silva. Silva, foul tackled by the other number 5, Fernandinho, who perhaps was lucky to escape an early yellow card from Harvard. That's the only decision I think that he hasn't got maybe right.
Yeah.
But it was early in the game.
I think he should be booked for that, Alan. I really do. I think there's been 4 or 5 with Fernandinho. Not certainly in the second half of that first half, but up to now it's another heavy challenge. I think it should be in the book.
Chile are dominating this second half. Brazil are rocking. They've got the ball on the far side of the field. Marcelo was foul tackled, and it's going to be a free kick to the host nation. Marcelo in no great urgency to take it, because look, it's not exactly a rush of players in the forward attacking possessions. He plays the free kick back to David Luiz, and now here's Thiago Silva inside his own penalty area, sweeping it to Dani Alves. Alves brings it down under control and then gives it away. That's typical of some of the forward passing from the Brazilian defence today. Fernandinho again had his foot up high there. Referee allowed play to continue. Chile have the ball. Left side with Mena. Mena onto Alexis Sanchez. Aggressive challenge by Thiago Silva. And it's out of play for a throw into Chile. Level with the edge of the Brazilian penalty area. 17 minutes gone in the second half. 1-1 in Belo Horizonte to come at 9 o'clock UK time. Uruguay against Colombia in the Maracanã. Ian Dennis, Mike Ingham and Chris Waddle. Here, Chile on the attack. They almost ran the ball through into the penalty area, but it's cleared by Brazil. It comes out off a Chilean player. It's going to be a throw in to Brazil.
Just very messy, Alan, and just the last 5 or 10 minutes, very, very messy start to this half, and it suits Chile. It really does. Chile are getting bodies round, certainly in midfield. They're able to close down Fernandinho and Gustavo, and they're on top. It's all territorial possession for Chile at the moment.
And actually, they dominated possession in the first half.
Yeah.
The stats showed that. It doesn't always indicate the way a game is going, but I think they had 57% possession to Brazil's 43%. Julio Cesar with a free kick outside his penalty area. Fred can't bring it under control. Chile have it back. It's driven forward towards Alexis Sanchez. Dani Alves under pressure, does really well. Takes the ball on his chest, feeds it forward. He finds Fernandinho immediately under attack. Pressing from Chile. They will not allow the Brazilians any time in the ball, and that encouraged a mistake by David Luiz, slacking it out of play for throwing.
Yeah, that time it was Diaz and Gutierrez. Good pressure, good high pressure. I think it was Arangues as well. Good play from them.
Right, well, we've had enough of Fred, and Fred replaced by Joe. Not at all surprised. You know, on the front four, Hulk, Oscar and Fred relatively anonymous, and Neymar's being closely marked by Chile. It's still 1-1 though. Chile have a throw-in, level with the edge of the Brazilian penalty area on the far side of the field. Isla is going to take it. He's got three players running towards him to receive the throw-in, and it's played brilliantly. Isla inside the penalty, throws it back, shot on goal. Great save by Julio Cesar behind for a corner. Fabulous save by the goalkeeper, or else it was 2-1 to Chile.
That's outstanding, brilliant play from Isla and Vidal. What a save, what a save that is from Cesar. What a save.
Close to 2-1 Chile. Close to 20 minutes gone in the second half. They've got a corner played in deep and easily caught by Julio Cesar.
Yeah, it was Arangues, wasn't it? Brilliant opportunity for him, but what a save. Because Cesar's going back to his right hand side, he's got to come back across the other way. Wonderful, wonderful save.
Well, that just emphasises that Chile are the better side in the second half. Joe jumps, jumped into the defender, hooked away by Medel over the halfway line. Alexis Sanchez chases after it, punches out of play, throw in for Brazil. If they were nervous, the Brazilian fans, they're more nervous now. Is there going to be a dramatic upset here in Belo Horizonte? Here's David Luiz, who put Brazil in front. Then Alexis Sanchez equalised. We had that incident in the second half when we think the assistant, Mike Malarkey, ruled out a goal by Hulk because of a perceived handball by Hulk. I think just a little harsh on the Brazilian player. That's a cross-field ball hit well beyond Dani Alves, and listen to the whistles. It's out of play. It's going to be a throw into Chile.
Yeah, we keep talking about how nervous this stadium is becoming, even more so with that diagonal ball hit by Marcelo there. Dani Alves not in position to receive it.
They're off the pace at the moment.
They are.
Brazil in the second half.
Definitely are.
Oscar plays it forward. No, not before Dani Alves had run the ball over the touchline, and it's a throw in to Chile. Now, so he's changed a forward for a forward, right? Have you seen any discernible tactical alteration by Scolari?
Well, Hulk's actually playing a lot deeper. He's gone back over to that left-hand side again. Oscar's coming over to the right-hand side, but I just think they're playing too deep, and that's largely down to Chilean pressure. They're putting a lot of pressure on Gustavo and Fernandinho, as we see now, and then, you know, that's the difficulty that they're getting. The difficulty is to get out.
Fernandinho swinging the ball toward the far side of the field. It's brought under control into the penalty area, but another good challenge, and it's behind for a goal kick. Yeah, that was Hulk running into the box.
Good defending though, Alan, wasn't it? Really good defending. I think it was Arangues getting back.
With a better team, Chile. The thing is, can they close it out now? Can they actually score a second goal and beat the hosts in their own country? It would be such an upset in terms of the World Cup. I think the rest of South America might like it. But FIFA wouldn't.
No, of course not. But I mean, they're on top. They're on top now. They've got to try and use this to their advantage now. Momentum's with them. Can they get themselves in front with the pressure that they've got on now?
Brazil are too sluggish at the moment, and Oscar slides to the ground, does enough to put off Mena, and then it's given away by Daniel Alves again. That's a great back heel. Fed forward now to Vidal, edge of the penalty, runs into the penalty. Thiago Silva had made the challenge, and the ball squirts through to Julio Cesar.
He played it blind, didn't he? Dani Alves playing it inside, didn't see the Chilean player inside him. Poor pass.
We could be on for extra time, we could be on for penalties, or else John Murray's going to describe the winning goal. John Murray.
Well, I don't know about you, Alan and Kevin, but I can feel the tension here. Goodness me, the pressure, and not only as Alan said, not only in this stadium here, but having been in this country for the time that we have, and seen what it's like when Brazil play, when we've not been covering their matches in the streets and the bars, what it must be like there. And Chile are right in this game. It is 1-1, and the ball in the back line with Medel. Such a big moment when Howard Webb and Mike Malarkey disallowed that goal, the Hulk goal. But my instant reaction, I immediately bumped into you, Kevin, and pointed to my arm. And you know, very often your initial instinct is correct, isn't it? And the replays that we've had don't make it clear. But my initial instinct was that he used the upper right arm to control that. Do you agree with that, or do you think it was not?
The ball's behind him. When you look at it, you've seen several replays. Again, it's a little bit inconclusive for us when you're watching the replay. It's in his shoulder region, isn't it? It's more in his shoulder, just very much at the top end of his arm. You know, Howard Webb didn't see it. He gave the goal. But of course, Mike Malarkey, he's right there. He's only 10, 15 yards away from it.
Louise, with a long pass, but Mike Malarkey has his flag up again. There is a scenario as well, a little later on today, tomorrow, and possibly forevermore. Might not be brilliant to be an Englishman in Brazil. Well, Alan can claim that one. You've got your Irish passport, so make sure you carry that with you tonight. What I'm going to do, I don't know. I might stay in hiding. It's Brazil 1, Chile 1. And, you know, you look to Willian on the substitutes bench. Scolari must be thinking that way, surely. You know, we've benefited from seeing Willian play and really outstrip Oscar for Chelsea all season.
Yes.
Yet Oscar is Scolari's man, isn't he?
It looks as though there's a bit of activity down there on the touchline. The problem is, I think it's because it's looking very much like extra time now. Does Scolari make his substitutions early, try to go and win the game in normal time, or then do the players then become more and more tired? It looks as though it could be Ramirez actually that's being called.
Yes, well, it is. He's now sprinting from behind all of those cameramen. How many of them are there down there? Dozens and dozens of them behind the hoardings. And around he comes on the side of the pitch, and off comes his bib, his golden bib. And we're going to see Ramirez coming on very shortly. And Chile coming forward. Really, the game has just sort of closed up over the course of the last 5 minutes or so. And a free kick to Brazil halfway inside their own half. Well, Ramirez is very quickly. So it wasn't one Chelsea man, Willian, it's another one, Ramirez, who Scolari has got his big left arm around and leaning into and giving him some instructions and telling him exactly what he wants him to do.
I think it's got to be Oscar. I do. It'll either be Oscar or Hulk. It's got to be, because you can move Hulk in various positions if you take Oscar off, but they both have struggled.
Yes, Oscar now is shrugged off the ball here. They want a free kick, the Brazilian supporters inside the stadium, but quite rightly, Howard Webb says no, men have fair challenge. And then Daniel Alves heads it forward, and I think we'll see the change now, will we, with the ball out of play for a throw into Chile. Not quite yet, they're still sorting it out down there. Jorge Sampaoli is doing what he does, really, on the move, constantly. The Chile coach, an Argentine. And he's standing down there with Ramirez to his left, waiting to come on, but plays back underway again. Chile, this is 5 Live, BBC 5 Live, here in Belo Horizonte. And Chile coming forward with Vidal. Vidal now controls it, moves away from Dani Alves, gives it to Alexis Sanchez. Alexis Sanchez, who scored the equaliser for Chile. Long diagonal ball down the right-hand side for Isla to try and reach, but he doesn't, he's well watched there. And the ball is shepherded behind for a throw-in, and we will see the change now, and it's Fernandinho. It's not one of those two players you were talking about, Oscar or Hulk. It is one of the central midfielders, so like for like.
Yep, slightly surprising for me that. I thought he might have been able to, you know, adjust the system around it, but besides just go like for like, as you say. But you're expecting now, certainly Ramirez with his energy that he's got, to break off, to try to get forward and try to get in support of Joe and Oscar and Neymar up front.
And as Julio Gomez from the Brazilian section of the World Services just said to me, you know, it might actually be a problem that Fernandinho's got, hence the change. So possibly an injury of some kind. But we'll see. We'll find out more about that later. If Brazil go out, I don't think they'll be talking much about whether Fernandinho is injured or not. Brazil 1, Chile 1, and time just beginning to ebb away. We've got a little over a quarter of an hour plus added time, but of course this is the first of the knockout games, so there is the possibility of extra time and then the possibility of penalties. Marcelo with it on the left-hand side for Brazil, plays it forward for Hulk, who makes a run but easily intercepted. Isla just moved across, glided across to his right, cleared downfield towards Vidal, but David Luiz was there to take it down, and Luiz thumps it forward, but a stretch from Isla prevents it from reaching Hulk, and now Chile play it downfield once again back to David Luiz. I'm interested as well, Kevin, since Gutierrez has come onto the field for Chile, really interesting little switch from them, taking Vargas off, and we don't know whether there's a problem with Vargas, but it looks to me as though that was a tactical switch as well.
Yeah, it is, and he's made an impact, hasn't he? He's got, again, he's used to this system in Chile, the way that the Chile do play, and it's high pressure every time centrally, and he's more suited to that system, it seems to me, just in the first 15 minutes since he's come on.
Gutierrez just hit by the ball in centre field. He was the Chilean substitute. Now Brazil coming forward in the yellow shirts, white shorts, white socks, and now the ball with Hulk on the left-hand side. Chest puffed out, Hulk's cross, and Joe with a stretch, but I think it was a touch from the defender, Mena, in there to get to it just before Joe on the edge of the 6-yard box. No, it wasn't. Well, Joe's saying the touch was from the defender, but I don't think anyone else is arguing.
It was a decent ball from Hulk. I think he's actually given offside, has he? He's given offside in there. Hulk's actually, Joe should actually be scoring that really. If he goes in with conviction, decent touch it was. Mena got himself, he had difficulties because he couldn't see where Joe was.
Brazil 1, Chile 1. Chile supporters making an absolute racket in there, vastly outnumbered. It's an amazing scene here. If you're on your way home and you've been listening to it, get the television on and have a look at what this looks like. It is yellow all the way around, apart from little splashes of red here and there. And just a stoppage because one of the Chileans has taken a knock. I think it's Alexis Sanchez, so he'll receive some treatment. And if you are heading home, the game is on BBC TV, but all of the BBC TV live games at this World Cup, you can watch them and listen to our commentary, should you wish, via the red button. And they've done, I don't know how they've done it, but they've been able to sync the pictures up with the 5 Live commentary. So 1-1 the score, and the water bottles now being used while we've got this stoppage, and Alexis Sanchez is back on his feet, and I think we're seeing a little bit of, what was it Tim Vickery was talking about before the game? I made a note of it, Kachimba, the slowing down of the game, which they did brilliantly against Spain in the match at the Maracanã, Chile. They pushed it right to the limit, I felt, in that game. And play back underway with Dani Alves, now to the left-hand side, to Luis Gustavo. And Marcelo is over there, the unmistakable Marcelo. Hulk, dispossessed, little challenge comes in on him. Marcelo, then back to Luis Gustavo. Hulk now turns, and Hulk sets off on a bustling run, and shoots, and wastes it completely, well wide of the far post. Nowhere near threatening Bravo's goal, and falls over as he does so. And it actually went out of play, probably closer to the corner flag than to the goal.
He did, and he had options as well. Neymar making a really good run, diagonally from right to left. Joe was in the middle as well. But you could just see one thing on his mind, wanting to get that strike away.
It's an awful lot of pressure on Brazil. And I would say in this position, there's an awful lot of pressure on Neymar here to rescue the team.
And he hasn't really been involved in the second half, has he? It's been all Chile. Got to say that Chile look much more of a threat now in this half.
They've done a job on him, Chile. They rattled him in the first half, and he's not really been able to get into the game in the second. And I know some of the Brazilians around the country on social media are suggesting that the header that Neymar had might have struck the arm of the Chilean defender who jumped with him, but I have to say there is an element of clutching at straws at that, because the defender knew nothing about it.
I think it was Silva, wasn't it, John? He's basically turned his back on the ball, so he's not to know what's happening. He's putting his arms in an area.
Yeah, but it was on target. Yes, it's a header that was on target, but the defender knew absolutely nothing about it. Brazil 1, Chile 1, and Ramirez challenged by his opposite number 16, Gutierrez. We're in the last 15 minutes now. Actually, 12 and a half minutes to go, plus added time. Silva chips the ball away. That is the Chilean Silva. And the ball out of play for a throw-in on the halfway line. What we're hearing now is Julio, to our left, very helpfully has told us that they're calling for Bernard to come on. They want to see the little number 20 21 years old. And, well, they've obviously got faith in him. But we'll see whether Scolari responds to that. Medel has got the ball, and he passes it through the middle to Diaz. And then Vidal goes down under the challenge from Marcelo. No free kick. Diaz now for Aranguiz, right side of the penalty area. Left-footed cross from him, but it's headed away by Oscar, who's near the penalty spot. And now Brazil back with it. But it's very congested in that central area, and Oscar takes it on and plays it up towards Joe, who spins away and goes down under the challenge from Yara, and it is a free kick. Should mention again as well that wonderful save from Julio Cesar from Aranguiz. What a stop, what a reaction save that was.
Absolutely outstanding.
To keep it at 1-1.
Do you know one thing, John, you've been saying when you're watching Brazil? I know we talk about Joe, and I know he's there to Fred. Joe's come on, he's doing the same sort of job. Every time the ball goes into him, he gives it away. You know, sometimes you've got to be strong. As that lone striker, you've got to be able to hold the ball up, bring your teammates into play. And Joe, since he's come on, hasn't done it, and neither did Fred when he was on.
Joe coming on as substitute for Fred, once Manchester City's record signing Joe. But I think it would be fair to say he didn't pull up any trees at Manchester City. Now plays in this city, in Belo Horizonte, for Atletico Mineiro. Here is Ramirez now, but Chile are all over him. 3 players around Ramirez. Now Dani Alves slides in on the challenge. Mena, though, keeps his feet and plays it down into the Brazilian half. And back it goes from Thiago Silva to Julio Cesar. It has become much more cagey in the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, the tempo's visibly slow, and you can see it, can't you? Chile putting pressure certainly centrally, but no real pacey attacks on either side at the moment. I think Chile are quite settled and quite happy with the way that they're doing it.
Yeah, but it's pressure, this game. It's got it written all over it. In the modern parlance, pressure big time, Kevin. You can hashtag pressure big time if you like.
And virtually every time David Luiz gets on the ball, he's always looking for those long balls. That seems to be the outball for them, always looking for Joe, and it's been quite poor. He's not been able to retain possession when the ball's gone into him. There's been no real options running off him as well. You just want to see Brazilian playing a little bit more through the lines.
He's only got 1 substitution left, Scolari, whereas Sampaoli has still 2 changes yet to make. Brazil 1, Chile 1. BBC 5 Live here inside the stadium in Belo Horizonte, and Brazil coming forward with Hulk, who plays it infield, and then it eventually finds its way back to Medel on the edge of the area, who just clears it direct, 1 touch right to the halfway line. Marcelo for Brazil plays it here to the right hand side into the shadows. Dani Alves is onto this, clips it forward into the box, and it's headed down and saved. Neymar was there, but it was straight at Bravo, who was able to make a juggling stop, gathered it at the second attempt, but he kept out Neymar.
Well, it's good play from Marcelo, freeing up Dani Alves. Dani Alves was a really good ball play between the 2 defenders. Neymar, well-timed run, downward header, comfortable save though, really was for Bravo.
Ball played forward now to Oscar, right side of the box, rides a challenge, pulls it across, a little flick, but excellent defending from Silva. Comes out to Oscar, still inside the penalty area, tried to find Dani Alves, who was powering forward towards the dead ball line, but it was placed slightly behind him, and Chile cleared it out of play, and it is a throw to Chile. I notice Claudio Bravo there, the goalkeeper, just moving behind the goal and taking a swig of water after that important save. I bet his heart was in his mouth when it bounced out off him into the penalty area, but he was able to gather it. The Barcelona-bound Chile goalkeeper, the deal was finalised this week to take him to the new camp. Signed 2 goalkeepers, Barcelona, with Victor Valdes leaving, and he will compete with the German Ter Stegen, who's been signed from Borussia Mönchengladbach. But if this form is anything to go by, then you would say he's probably in pole position, Claudio Bravo. Brazil 1, Chile 1, with Colombia against Uruguay to come from 9 o'clock. And all of these games, of course, in the last 16 of this World Cup, and the quarterfinals to follow, semi-final, final, all of these games on 5 Live, live from inside the stadiums. Here is Chile bringing the ball forward from the back with Yara. Right-footed ball, but that's beyond the run of Mena, and out of play for a throw. And even a bit of fatigue, probably pressure fatigue, showing on Chile as well in this game.
Most definitely, you can see it, can't you? The tempo isn't what it was certainly in the first half, and the first 10 or 15 minutes of this second half, so it's just settled down a little bit now, the game.
Well, we have just 6.5 minutes until added time. And the game, as it is at the moment, you would say that the favourite is extra time. Thiago Silva to David Luiz. David Luiz looks up, goes for one of those ambitious long passes up towards Joe, who's beaten in the air by Chiara. And now Marcelo on the left-hand side curls a pass towards the edge of the box, looking for Neymar. It's cleared away by Medel. Comes out for Ramirez. Now Hulk's on a run, beats two men, beats a third man, shoots, and Bravo saves, but it's still inside the penalty area. Marcelo's in there. There was a challenge on him. Now the ball left side of the box with Joe, who drives it across, and Bravo drops on it at his near post.
Excellent from Hulk. Really good play from Hulk. Inside onto his left foot initially, then checking back out onto his right. Shook it well enough. Good save, really good save from Bravo, good hands.
Well, Hulk almost did it then, almost did it. Excellent piece of play, the best we've seen from him at the World Cup, I would say.
Yeah, it was. Apart from the first 5 or 10 minutes of this game, he's been fairly anonymous, but that was brilliant play from Hulk.
But it remains, Brazil 1, Chile 1. I think it was the Mexico game when Brazil were playing Mexico. I was in a car travelling through the streets of Rio in the middle of the afternoon, and there was nobody on the road. It was incredible. Our driver said, I have never ever seen Rio like this in the middle of the day. And that's what it'll be like all around the country. People will be watching. It was an extraordinary experience, that actually, watching people in their living rooms, in the blocks of flats, watching Brazil. And that's what will be happening now, and they'll be holding their breaths. And Chile are going to make a change. It's Big Pinilla who's going to come on, as he did against the Dutch. And he, in the old-fashioned sense, put himself about. Mauricio Pinilla, the number 9. So he will come on, and we've almost reached the point where there are only 5 minutes to play plus added time. Bravo, the captain and goalkeeper, long and forward. David Luiz is there with his shaggy head, headed down. Medel now nods it forward, through the middle. It's hooked forward by Vidal, but that will just bounce through to Julio Cesar, whose penalty area there is almost completely in shadow now as we move into the afternoon. Julio Cesar's clearance downfield through the middle for Joe, who's beaten in the air by little Medel, who's about 3/4 of his height. And now Alexis Sanchez into the centre circle. Yara, he swings a right-footed ball, but that's way behind Isla, who does well actually just to keep it in over on that far side. Neymar is there, but Chile keep the ball, and Pinilla will come on next time there's a stoppage in play. Silva for Chile, long and forward. Thiago Silva rises above Vidal and heads it back into the Chilean half, and then it's all the way back to Bravo again, and we are now into the last 5 minutes of this game. 1-1 the score, and Medel, I think you've almost reached the point here where we've got two teams playing for extra time.
Yes, you can see it, can't you? Chile's not looking to get forward, just quite content keeping it in their own third and their own half.
As Diaz plays it forward towards Vidal. Now Alexis Sanchez, what can he do here? He's forced by Oscar back out towards the left-hand side. A little pass to Mena, then it's Alexis Sanchez again. Back to Diaz, and the squat little figure of Diaz gives it to Vidal, who uncharacteristically gave it away there. And Brazil bring it forward, but they've only got 3 men forward. Neymar carries it into the Chilean half, but he only had Marcelo and Joe ahead of him. And in the end, he's probably done well to win a throw-in out of that. And it is Vidal who is substituted by Chile. And of course, it was only last month, at the start of May, that he had a knee operation. And they've been very, very careful with him. Jorge Sampaoli trying to nurse him through this. And you would think that must be a factor here.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the case. Bring him off. I mean, he's had a couple of moments in the game. He's not really been able to have any sustained attacks himself. So substitute him. Bring as you say there,
the big man.
The big man Speyer. He's definitely got energy. He's definitely got presence, hasn't he? So can he cause havoc in that Brazilian defence? Can he cause problems for Luis and Thiago Silva?
Yes, the former heart of Midlothian striker Pinilla comes onto the field. A little bit like Joe at Manchester City. He didn't cover himself in glory in the time that he was there. Hulk concedes a goal kick to Chile with a little dart forward down the left-hand side, comes to nothing. So a goal kick to Chile. And from such a promising situation in this match, when you could just feel the tension in it, it was vibrant and full of pressure. The game has just completely meandered away. Completely.
You're saying there's both playing for extra time now, and that's just more tension, isn't it? More tension in this stadium, more tension throughout the country for the Brazilians.
Marcelo hits a long pass forward. Just wondered whether Silva might have let that go all the way to Bravo, but he leapt for it and headed it down, and that's given it to Neymar on the left-hand side. Neymar with less than 2 minutes of the 90 to play. Brazil go back into their own half. David Luiz points forward, then hoists a pass forward that is flicked onto Oscar, but Medel was there just to take down the bouncing ball, and off he comes now. Medel head forward, passes it through to Alexis Sanchez through the middle. He rides the challenge from Thiago Silva, but Brazil have been able to get numbers back, and Marcelo put the tackle in on Alexis Sanchez. Well, given away by Ramirez. Dani Alves then slides in on the challenge with Mena. Now here's Pinilla into the match for the first time. Pinilla up against Ramirez on the left wing. There's nobody in the penalty area for Chile. Back heel from Pinilla to Mena. Still no one there. Now they begin to arrive inside the box, and Mena actually probably made the best of a bad job there by winning a throw.
Yeah, it was an excellent introduction there for Pinilla, wasn't it? Good play from him, hold up play, had runners off him as well. No real support in the box. Won the throw in though.
Just over a minute to go with the score. Brazil 1, Chile 1 in the first of the second round matches, the first of the knockout games. Throw-in taken by Mena. Alexis Sanchez then infield towards Diaz, and then chipped forward into the penalty area. Aranguiz made the run. Luis Gustavo headed it away. Challenge on the edge of the box. David Luiz manages to clear it away. Diaz plays it through, but then it breaks down on the edge of the area, and Brazil will bring it forward through Ramirez. They're urging them on, the thousands here in the yellow shirts, but Ramirez's pass, well, it gave Neymar absolutely no chance, and it just runs away out for a throw on the far side.
I think he was expecting the challenge from Aranguiz, so he's just tried to play early, tried to play it forward, but a little bit more composure. They had runners, they had Hope, they had Neymar down the left.
So it remains 1-1 after Brazil took the lead with the goal that is, well, it's either a Jara own goal or it's a David Luiz goal. That will be debated. Alexis Sanchez equalising, and then big moments in the second half when Hope put the ball in the net, but Howard Webb and his assistant disallowed the goal for handball. So it remains 1-1. Important save from Julio Cesar as well. Chile coming forward with Alexis Sanchez. This is dangerous for Brazil. Then it's played into the box. Aranguiz controls it. Alexis Sanchez is there. Aranguiz shoots, it's blocked, and then it's scrambled away by Ramirez. Oh my goodness, I'm feeling this for them.
They just had bodies around, didn't they? That's how they were able to clear it.
And now Chile come again, and Aranguiz is challenged. The ball bounces away. David Luiz has got it. Jude now. That looked as though it might have been over the dead ball line, but he kept it in, and it's played out of play for a Brazilian throw. Darren Kahn is making the decision over there, Howard Webb's assistant. So it's a throw-in to Brazil with 3 minutes of added time to play, and we are into that, well into that. It's looking like extra time, everyone. Throw in to Joe, but it just bounces down, and Chile have got it once again inside their own half. A goal now, you would think that would almost certainly be it, and whoever scores it would be through. And if it's Chile, Brazil would be out. Throw in on the halfway line. Yara throws it back into his own half to Medel. And Brazil are urging their team on, but the Chileans are as well. That little section over there bobbing up and down and waving their scarves, and now Diaz carries it forward 30 yards out, shoots, it's gone a long way. Dani Alves knew that Pinilla was behind him and had to side foot it behind for a corner.
Take no chances there, certainly Dani Alves at the far post, but just see how deep Brazil are. They're just sitting in their own half, really camped along their own 18-yard line, and the ball was well into the Chilean half then, so they've literally got to get themselves out a little bit. 10 or 15 more yards, put more pressure on the ball.
Well, for all this talk about lack of height in the Chilean squad, with Pinilla they now do have some height. Silva has come forward as well, he's on the dead ball line, but it's a corner in added time with the score 1-1. Here it is, the delivery from Alexis Sanchez, it's flicked right across the 6-yard box and dribbles out of play, and it was a Brazilian head that it came off, and it's a throw-in just 5 or 6 yards back from the corner flag. We're in the third minute, we're in the final minute of added time. Chile score now, that would have to be it. And Brazil have to defend this. And the throw-in to be taken by Isla. to Pania, who controls it and then looks to give it back to Isla, who is offside, which is a little naive. And we've got 25 seconds to go. Kevin Kilbane.
It was a great ball from that corner though from Alexis Sanchez, wasn't it? They had runners across the box. If one or two of the Chilean players had just gone in on Julio Cesar across him, there would have been an opportunity for them. There were so many Brazilian players that had gone near post to challenge for the cross.
So Julio Cesar with the free kick downfield, and Ramirez heads it on, and I'll make it that is the 3 minutes up now, and the whistle goes, and that's it. The 90 minutes plus added time are over, and we will have extra time for the first time in this World Cup. The first point possible, of course. Brazil won, Chile won. What are you thinking, Kevin Kilbane?
Well, I mean, Chile had that glorious opportunity with Aranguiz. It was a brilliant save from Cesar, and then, of course, Hulk himself having the opportunity other end on his right foot, which provided a good save from Bravo. Very tense stadium. Both sides don't really look like they showed too much attacking intent in the last 10 minutes of that game.
So 1-1, and by a country mile, the big decision of that second half, Howard Webb and Mike Malarkey's decision to disallow Hulk's goal. So 1-1 it is, an extra time on the way, and it's back to Mark Pugac in Rio for a little while.
Well, I've just been using the second half of extra time and the second half of the second half of the game and the period before extra time to practice my Ulster accent, which it may have mellowed a little bit over the years, but I think it's going to get really strong because I've got to get to the airport without anybody thinking I've anything to do with Howard Webb. That you're going to struggle, Kevin. You will struggle. Right, well, the tension is palpable, and I think Chile have every reason to feel confident.
Yeah, they do. I think they've played well in the second half. There's been chances both ends. That brilliant opportunity that fell to Aranguiz. It was a wonderful save from Cesar. It really was. Brilliant it was. And then, of course, at the other end, the chance for Hulk and the disallowed goal that Hulk had as well. So it is very evenly poised. It's a wonderful occasion, but there's so much tension in the air.
And, it's really difficult to judge properly on an incident like the Hulk thing. I felt it was harsh on him, personally, but hey, I don't have the assistant's view, I don't have Howard Webb's view. The assistant Mike Malarkey was clearly pivotal in the decision, and it didn't go Brazil's way. So we're 1-1. They've taken an age to prepare themselves for the first period of extra time. 2 periods of 15 minutes, of course, and then if that doesn't find a winner, then we have penalty kicks. By the way, have you noticed this habit of Alexis Sanchez? He obviously doesn't like long shorts because he tucks the bottom of his shorts further up his leg. It looks as if he wants to be in the beach. Anyway, the shadow cast by the roof of the stand has crept into the centre circle now, and I think the bulk of the playing surface is in shade. But it's still a beautiful afternoon here in Belo Horizonte. Brazil won, Chile won. Chile attacking the end to our left in this first period of extra time. The ball's out of play in front of Phil Scolari, throw in taken by Dani Alves. On to Joe. Joe just about feeds it back to Hulk. Hulk string takes him past 3 players. Hulk still running forward. He's made 40 yards, and then is he pushed over just to the left of the penalty area? He was. Free kick Brazil.
Yeah, great run from Hulk. It was good incisive movement from him, beating 2 or 3 players, and he's getting the crowd going at the far side as well,
urging them on with his arm movements, and the free kick's in a good position for Brazil. But of course, Bravo has dealt very well with similar free kicks earlier in the game. Brazil have got what? How many players in attacking positions? They've already got 5 inside the penalty area. And Neymar to take the free kick. Will he be tempted by a shot? Will it be a cross? Remember, it was David Luiz on the far post who put Brazil in front. Alexis Sanchez equalised. The free kick inches outside the penalty area. Here's Neymar, right footed, drills it in low, skips off the defensive head, and it's behind for a corner.
Well, it was a decent ball, wasn't it? I think it's actually Gutierrez there, just got in position just to deflect the ball behind for the corner. Good pace on the cross from Neymar.
Neymar's going to take the corner, similar delivery perhaps. Bravo waits, there it goes, in towards the near post, well defended by Chilli, and they run the ball away towards the far side of the field. Neymar trying to win the ball back. He's being held up at the moment. Good play by Chilli, tenacity, taking the ball over the halfway line. But now Brazil have it once more with Dani Alves. And the crowd need to help Brazil. They went far too quiet in the second period. Oh, long ball forward, and Joe's foot was high up, recklessly up on Bravo. It's certainly a free kick to Chilli. It might be a yellow card for Joe.
Yeah, it was. Heavy challenge on him. Poor defending actually initially from Chilli, because I didn't think they realised that Bravo was so far back on his line. Allowed the ball to bounce. You've got to deal with it. Joe, high left boot into the chest of Bravo.
I thought that was a bad challenge by Joe. I'm sorry, that's not acceptable.
He's lucky if he doesn't get booked here.
Bravo's still receiving treatment. Joe's on his feet. Hardwell concerned about the injury to the goalkeeper, who will have a few stud marks on his chest tonight.
Too many long balls again, though, and I think throughout the second half, certainly the last 15-20 minutes of the half, every time it was David Luiz picking up the ball. Yeah.
Yellow card for Joe, well deserved.
Just back to front too often, you don't expect that from the Brazilian side. You want them to play more, you want them to try to create openings, but it's very, very direct from Brazil.
So often in the first period of extra time that I've been commentating on over the years, it's relatively negative. Somebody's going to get a winner. It usually happens in the second period. But we may need penalties here on 5 Live. Brazil won, Chile won. Coming up in less than 2 hours, commentary, 9 o'clock kickoff in the Maracanã, UK time, 9 o'clock kickoff. That's Uruguay against Colombia. Ian Dennis, Mike Ingham and Chris Waddle. Brazil holds its breath, concerned that their team is in danger of going out of the World Cup. Here's Medel, who's been excellent throughout. Good ball to the far side to Alexis Sanchez. He controls the ball down up his chest. He still looks busy. He still looks quick. Was he fouled there? Yes, he was. It was a pull back by Oscar, and there's Scolari again. Look at this. He's roaring at the fourth official. You're wrong, Phil. Webb was right.
Yeah, Ramirez had his hand all over Alexis Sanchez. They give the foul away. I think Howard Webb's right on the spot. Good decision. I think he's refereed it well, I have to say that.
It's just frustration from Phil Scolari. So the free kick for Chile. And they've got Panay, who's a sort of aerial target now that they haven't had before. He's working towards the left of the Brazilian penalty area, being watched by Thiago Silva. Chile told to get on with it. Gutierrez goes towards the edge of the penalty. Alexis Sanchez is already there. It can't seriously be a shot from this distance, 45 yards. It is driven in wide. What a waste of time.
Yes, I mean, he's got, as you say there, he's got aerial presence in Panay, who's come on there. He's over the shoulder of Thiago Silva. Just clip it up. Just clip it up to the far post, trying to get it back across goal. Poor effort.
What's Diaz thinking about from 45 yards? Does he think he's going to score a goal in the World Cup against, a good goalkeeper like Julio Cesar? No. Goal kick to Brazil. First 5 minutes of extra time already negotiated. Still 1-1 here in Belo Horizonte. Medel has the ball forward. Headed back by Oscar on the halfway line. Ramirez heads the ball forward. Joe heads it on. Might reach Neymar. Oh, Neymar was pulling back on the defender, and it's a free kick. Neymar complained, and of course the 54,000 or so Brazilian fans inside this stadium, they all complain. They don't like Hardwell's decision. He's right again.
Yeah, Medel, you said before, he's played really well. Just got across Neymar, I think it was again, wasn't it? But yeah, it was actually the foul was on Silva, but Medel has looked really good, hasn't he? I think he's been excellent the way that he's marshalled the defence. He's been able to get himself in positions when the ball's been played over his shoulder. Good performance from him.
So it doesn't really matter what your stature is, if you read the game correctly, as Medel does, as the brilliant Philipp Lahm does, wherever he's playing for Germany, doesn't matter how slight you are. Not that I would ever dare accuse Medel of being slight of stature. Free kick is taken by Chile. Goes into the Brazilian penalty area just temporarily, then it's headed away by David Luiz out of play on the near side of the field. So the throw-in to be taken by Mena, who had missed the quarter-final. alongside his colleague Silva. Should Chile progress? Chile just trying to get past Brazil. Not that way, they won't, because that's a foul by Alexis Sanchez on Dani Alves. The first period of extra time, frankly, is sluggish and as non-committal as I expected.
Yeah, I think the way that it fizzled out towards the end of normal time, I don't think we were really expecting anything different throughout this first period in extra time, but you're just looking for a little bit of a spark, and again you just see Cesar taking the goal, the free kick. It's just a long punt forward, isn't it? I've not really seen too much from Brazil, certainly going through the thirds.
What time's your flight tonight to Brasilia?
It's about 9 o'clock, I think.
Mine's 8:15 to Rio. I think we should hide our accreditation. Don't tell anybody you work for the BBC in England. I still don't point the finger at Hardwell. Questionable decision to disallow the Hulk effort, but there you go. It happens. Here's Medel again, clearing the ball for Chile, up to the halfway line, dropping towards Thiago Silva, taken down of his chest. Simple pass to Dani Alves. In to Gustavo. Back to Thiago Silva. I've been disappointed at how sluggish Brazil have been since half-time, actually. Dani Alves swirls the pass forward down the right side. Joe comes across, can't control it. Chile, that's gone out of the touchdown. It has. Took the assistant quite a while to recognise that, but it's a throw into Chile.
Yeah, you're right in saying that. I think since half-time, Brazil haven't really created too much, apart from, say, the goal that was disallowed from Hulk and the opportunity it created for himself, really.
The throw goes to Pineda. Pineda feeds it infield. On it goes in the direction of Alexis Sanchez, but away from the striker, and David Luiz plays it back to Julio Cesar. Already 8 minutes gone in the first period of extra time. It continues to be Brazil 1, Chile 1. Here on 5 Live. Ramirez swings the pass towards this near touchline to the right to Dani Alves. Hit high again towards Joe. And it wasn't as if we ever saw anything of Joe in England that made us think, oh, he's the man to take that ball down and bring it under control.
How many times have we seen that, Alan? Throughout the second half, throughout this, so for the first period and extra time, long balls, hopeful balls played forward, just punting forward really to him, and he can't control it.
Now Barbaros clearance goes straight out of play, and it's a throw-in to Brazil in front of the Brazilian technical area. Phil Scolari is so evident in that area, he's almost on the pitch. Dani Alves. To Gustavo. Gustavo feeds it to the right side. Oscar played it through the legs of the defender, but they must have caught something of Yara's body because it's out for a throw-in to Brazil. Midway inside the Chilean half. Dani Alves. Hulk nearby. Hulk volleys the pass back to the fullback, into Ramirez. And back it goes to the halfway line and Thiago Silva, who switches play into the sunshine on the far side. The Brazilian left. Marcelo. Oh no, into the penalty. Joe was... had an opportunity, half opportunity for a shot, but he delayed. It's a bumbling effort, came back off the defender and is easily saved by Bravo.
Yeah, better from Brazil, good ball from Marcelo, played into Joe. He actually did well initially to hold the ball up, got a little bit of a turn on it, just lost his footing though, never really testing Bravo out.
I wonder if they've closed their eyes now in various parts of Brazil.
Probably, yeah.
Dreading what might happen here. Of course, a Brazilian goal will transform the mood. But there hasn't been much sign of it apart from Hulk's disallowed effort. That's another good challenge by Silva on the far side on Neymar. Is it fair to say Neymar has also been a disappointment?
He has. I think the first half he was the real spark for Brazil, but second half he did struggle, and I think in this period of extra time he struggled as well.
Diaz hits it over the halfway line, and it goes in the general direction of Alexis Sanchez, but played back by Ramirez to Thiago Silva. Dani Alves, guilty of so many poor passes forward, the Brazilian right back. Now Marcelo on the far side of the field. Marcelo hustle, has to stop. Only finds a colleague on the halfway line. And now Alves with a little bit of room in the inside right channel for Brazil. And on it goes to the right flank, and Hulk. Hulk has improved as the game has gone on. Back to Alves, into Gustavo, and Gustavo running forward, on to Hulk. Hulk declines the cross, takes on the defender, beats the defender, crosses deep toward the far post, header down, easily saved. Oscar with a header.
Best chance of extra time, wasn't it? Great play again from Hulk, getting onto his right foot, good ball to the far post of Oscar, poor header, couldn't really get any power on it, did he?
Here's Pineda on the far side of the field. Just 4 red shirts committed in the attacking phase of the game for Chile, and then the mood breaks down. There's a poor pass, then there's a push on the Brazilian, free kick to Brazil. Very untidy first period of extra time. Still Brazil 1, Chile 1. Ball into the penalty area, and Ramirez plays it back toward Joe. It's cleared, safely cleared to the far side. Marcelo brings the ball under control. Marcelo being hustled by Pinea, slips, still gets the pass back to David Luiz, and David Luiz moves into the Chilean half. Luiz then tripped by Pinea. That could be a yellow card. It is a yellow card.
Yeah, good run from Luiz there, so stepping into midfield. See, there's a clear foul there from Pinea.
We still wait for what would probably be a winning goal from either side. Marcelo back into the centre circle. Thiago Silva for Brazil, the captain. On to Dani Alves. Up to the edge of the penalty area to Gustavo, whose touch was poor, and then the clearance hits Gustavo, and it's out of play for a Chilean throw-in. 2.5 minutes left in the first period of extra time.
Yeah, it's a big chance. Actually, Joe it was, Alan, again giving the ball away. Poor touch, poor control from him. Had runners off him. Ramirez made a really good run inside him. Clever run from him. Just too many touches on the ball, not moving it on quick enough, and lost possession.
Menes throwing down the touchline to Pinea. Pinea loses the ball cheaply. Hulk runs infield, away from one player, away from another. Hulk shoots from long range, stopped by the fists of Bravo. Cleared into a dangerous area though. Marcelo crosses into the penalty area once more. Header up and away, still on the edge of the penalty area. And now it's smashed away to safety. And I think that was Yara. He may have hurt himself in making that clearance. It wasn't Medel.
Lucky from Hulk though, wasn't it? If any player through this, certainly the second half and through this early period, is going to do something, it's Hulk. He's been much improved today.
Here's Alexis Sanchez on the far side of the field. David Luiz goes across, pulls him down. Free kick. Hard Webb doesn't book him. Still, maybe he's going to call David Luiz back. Hard Webb looking away. Yeah, he is looking at Luiz. The Chileans encouraging the referee to take sterner action than merely awarding a free kick, but he hasn't. 1 minute and 20 seconds of the first period of extra time remaining here in Belo Horizonte. Brazil 1, Chile 1. Both goals scored in the first half. And it's been a game of not that many chances. Yara, near side, Chilean left, over the halfway line, flicks the ball infield to Gutierrez. Gutierrez forward now to Alexis Sanchez, trying to dribble his way through, falls over on the challenge of Marcelo, wins the ball back, feeds it to the right side, promising for Chile here. They pull the ball back, but they can't get it through to a red shirt. Alexis Sanchez was the target. It's cleared by Brazil over the halfway line, and the referee spotted something. I think it's a free kick to Brazil.
Yeah, it was a big break, wasn't it? Good chance there, just to try and whip it across the 6-yard box, really. Again, Alexis Sanchez heavily involved in that move for Chile.
Chile would probably take penalty kicks here.
They've looked a threat in the second half. I think
David Luiz drives the ball forward. Neymar had made his run far too quickly. He's offside, and it's a free kick to Chile. We've got 1 minute of added time at the end of the first period.
Just a long punt again, isn't it? Forward, come to nothing. We've seen it so often from Brazil.
Scolari cuts an increasingly frustrated figure. I don't know whether it's with the officiating or whether it's the way his team is playing. I don't think they've been impressive.
They're both. He's certainly unhappy with Howard Webb. 1 or 2 decisions that he's given against his side or not given against his side that he feels should be yellow cards or bookings.
Free kick to Chile into that added minute at the end of the first period of extra time on 5 Live. Driven forward, Dani Alves fouls Pinea. Now here's a free kick in a good position for Chile. About 30 yards from goal. They can commit players forward, because if the free kick breaks down and there's no goal, probably the whistle will go for half-time and extra time. And they'll take their time before they take the free kick. They don't want to give Brazil an opportunity to counter-attack if it breaks down. It was a quite deliberate push by Dani Alves.
It's actually a block, it was obstruction. Just as Pinea was coming inside just to go and challenge for the ball, Dani Alves just stepped across him, obstruction. I think Dani Alves has been booked maybe for remonstrating with Howard Webb.
Yeah, it has been booked, thank you. Now, Diaz shot from 45 yards from a free kick earlier, which was ridiculous. This is closer, but he's not going to take it. It's going to be Alexis Sanchez, and this will be the final action of the first period of extra time. Hard Webb uses that spray, showing the Brazilian defence the line beyond which they cannot go. And Alexis Sanchez of Barcelona waits. Hardware prepares to blow his whistle. Sanchez comes forward, right-footed shot, driven low and wide. And that is half-time and extra time, Kevin Kilbane.
Yeah, difficult chance, wasn't it, Alexis Sanchez there. I just think really it was 30-35 yards out. Penea's been a threat since he's come on. Just maybe clip it up to the far post, give him the opportunity to head at goal, but saying not really too much in this first period to really shout out about, was there really?
I would not bet against penalties now. Half-time and extra time, Brazil 1, Chile 1.
Yes, it's Willian who has been called forward, so it surely it would have to be Oscar, Kevin Kilbane.
Yep, certainly think so. Hulk, in fairness to him, he's come into the game. I think he's played really well in the second half, and certainly through that period of extra time I think he did well. I think he was creative, he caused problems. I think Oscar's been the real weak link for Brazil today. He's had no real impact on this game.
Our friend Julio Gomez from the Brazilian section of the World Service has just given me a really important little snippet here. Tells me that the only player in the Brazilian squad who regularly takes penalties for his club is Hulk for Zenit. And this actually takes me back to the opening game the day before the match, when I watched Brazil train, and ahead of that game Scolari was bringing any number of players over to take penalties. So I don't know whether that's something that they've been doing during the course of training, but it's obviously something that's been in their minds. So the final change for Brazil, Oscar does indeed make way, and his clubmate at Stamford Bridge, Willian, will come on, the number 19, for what is his 10th cap. And on he comes. So we won't see Bernard, who the locals were shouting for here in the second half. Bernard, who used to play in the city for Atletico Mineiro. Scolari's used all his cards now, and it's 1-1, and the second period of extra time is about to begin. So Chile line themselves up in the half to our left. Brazil will be playing from right to left in this second period of extra time. We've had an inordinate amount of time to wait yet again before the second period gets underway. So 15 minutes to play plus whatever added time, and if no further scoring, then it will be penalties to decide who goes through from this tie to the quarter-finals in Fortaleza on Friday. Commentary to come later on Colombia against Uruguay, and I'm sure everyone in the Maracanã and in Rio and all around Brazil is absolutely glued to this to see what happens. Chile playing the ball away from inside their own half. Diaz might have just been caught there by Joe, but no free kick, and it's back with Dani Alves. Now Marcelo here on the halfway line. Marcelo down the line towards Neymar. Neymar away from Isla, cuts infield into the penalty area, pulls the ball across, and Joe actually went down as he tussled with two of the Chilean defenders, but it was cleared behind and over the top of the bar by Medel. Hits that man again for a corner to Brazil. Yeah,
decent ball it was actually played from Neymar. Good ball played forward initially from Marcelo, skipped away from Isla down the left hand side. Good ball played into the box.
So Brazil prepared to take this corner. Here it is. Neymar plays it in, and it's headed up and over the top by Joe. 5 yards out, and he looks to the heavens now, puts his palms together as well, but couldn't get it on target.
Yeah, good start to this period for Brazil. It's a chance, isn't it? Look, he's towering over the two Chilean defenders there. Not really a difficult skill there to get that on target. Should just maybe get a little bit of a glancing header. It's there.
Just when Medel cleared that last ball in from Neymar, Bravo, the goalkeeper, actually signalled to the bench here. And remember, no, he's not going to be able to continue. Medel is going to have to limp off. And remember, Sampaoli, the coach of Chile, said yesterday that had the game been yesterday, Medel would not have been able to play with a leg muscle injury, and now he's actually lifted up the left leg of his blue shorts, and we can see white strapping there, and he is going to leave the field, and he's not going to be quick about it either.
No, he's been brilliant as well.
So how are they going to... Well, they've only got, less than quarter of an hour to last without him. And now there's a bit of a fuss here. Several of the Chilean staff are remonstrating with the fourth official, and Medel sat down now, and they're having to bring the stretcher on.
I think that was a message from the bench, John. Go down, stay down, get the stretchers, take you off so we can do it properly. We don't want to go continuing this game with 10 men.
A little bit of Kachimba, do you think?
Yes, that's the one.
I've learned that's a new word
what Tim was talking about, wasn't it?
I've been learning new words every day in Portugal, in Brazil, in Portuguese, Kevin. I don't know about you, but that is today's word. So Medel is lifted off the field on the stretcher, and he's replaced by, well, it's his first appearance of this World Cup, Jose Rojas, who is a central defender, and in actual fact he is the man who is the only recognised out-and-out central defender in this Chilean squad, and he's finally got on the field.
Yeah, like for like, of course. You know, you're saying going there, he said Gary Medel, like for like, I suppose we consider him a midfielder, don't we? But you're saying Rojas there, strong defender, bit of physical presence for the back line, probably what they needed as well.
Well, that's all taken approximately 2 minutes, so we'll see if all of that time is added on at the end of the match. If you've just joined us on 5 Live, it is extra time, second period of extra time here in the sunshine in Belo Horizonte. Beautiful afternoon, and the score is Brazil 1, Chile 1. It's absolutely in the balance, this, and it is Brazil who are in possession in the now narrow strip of sunshine on the pitch on the far side, with blue sky. It's like a Simpsons skyline, isn't it, above the stadium, above our heads. Blue skies and long white clouds. And Luiz now, David Luiz. Here it comes to Marcelo, right in front of where a rather agitated Scolari is watching. Filipao. Here is Willian now into the action on the left-hand side, but the whistle's gone for foul. Chile free kick, and more howls of derision from the people in yellow shirts all around the stadium. Free kick, throw-in, in fact, they couldn't keep it in.
It was a tight one, wasn't it?
It was a tight one.
All the ball, as you say, got to go over the line. Mike Malarkey's just in line with that.
So 1-1 the score, and if you haven't been paying attention, if you haven't been listening, 2 Chile players are down. The big decision that a Brazilian goal disallowed for handball scored by Hope early in the second half. And now 2 Chile players are down, and the Brazilians know what the game is here. They know exactly what Chile are doing. And Gutierrez is one of them, Pinilla is the other. Gutierrez is on his feet, and Howard Webb actually helps Pinilla to his feet. Well, Marcelo landed on Pinilla, and then it was Ramirez with the challenge on Gutierrez. But they're going to take every invitation, Chile, to go down.
I think it was a heavy challenge on Pinilla. I think it was fine though. I think he's just stayed down just for a bit of extra drama, but it was a heavy challenge from Marcelo.
Free kick then for Chile, taken down by Pinilla, who shoots from distance, from 23, 24 yards given the angle, and it whizzes by yards and yards over the top of the bar.
Good touch, really good touch, backed into Dani Alves, took it down on his chest, just couldn't turn and find the target.
Might be a good point to mention the fact that Brazil, the national team, are unbeaten in Brazil since 2002, and they have not lost at home in a competitive match since 1975. But they're in danger here. 1-1 the score. Joe's been fouled. Just a heavy challenge by Silva. So a free kick. Luis Gustavo, the former Bayern Munich man, Wolfsburg last season, is going to leave it for Willian to take. And David Luiz is actually going to have a little foray forward towards the edge of the box. The free kick's going to be delivered in by Willian. The crowd get behind Brazil. Willian waits. The defensive line is held along the edge of the Chilean box. And now the free kick, right-footed by Willian. He plays it square to Dani Alves. He will shoot from distance, but it's wide and dips high as well and behind, and a complete waste.
Yeah, similar place for the strike he had in the first half that Bravo dealt with easily. That time opened up for him. Poor effort, wasn't it?
So we have less than 10 minutes to go now. In fact, 8.5 minutes to play. Brazil 1, Chile 1. I mean, we've seen quite a number of penalty shootouts, haven't we, over the years? I mean, Cricky, you've been involved in 1 or 2 at this stage of a World Cup. But I have a feeling that this is a penalty shootout we're about to watch here today. This will be one of the most highly charged penalty shootouts that you would ever see. In Brazil, at Brazil's World Cup, with Brazil's future on the line. Of course, it's a big matter for Chile as well. The noise, by the way, the crowd were singing was "I Believe," which has become Atletico Mineiro's motto in the Copa Libertadores. So that's what they're singing. I believe. They want Brazil to believe that they can do this. But they've lost possession, and Alexis Sanchez is there on the halfway line and turns and now sets off. Might have just been tugged by Luis Gustavo. No free kick though. Howard Webb was close to it. Ball played forward to Pinilla on the left-hand side. Pinilla now waits and waits, and then it was a cross shot. It actually took a deflection, and that has worked in Chile's favour. And it comes back to Diaz, who hits another shot wildly from way out and behind for a goal kick. So it's 1-1 here in extra time. Let's just get a quick update from Russell Fuller at Wimbledon. And the Wimbledon coverage, 5 Live's Wimbledon coverage on 5 Live Sports Extra, digital radio, whatever means, BBC iPlayer, radio, until 10 o'clock tonight. Here on 5 Live, 1-1. And it's been quite a stodgy game for the majority now, if you take extra time into account, just I think because the stakes are so high. Here's Neymar now. What can he do? Skips in field, beats 2 challenges, and then couldn't play it past Gutierrez. And Chile strike it downfield towards Alexis Sanchez with those shorts, those blue shorts, pulled right up high, almost like swimming trunks. Here's Pinilla. Now Diaz. And Gutierrez with a little touch. Islas onto it, in towards Alexis Sanchez, and Luis is in with a good challenge. Strong, just a little touch of the ball with his toe as well to take it away, so no foul. Alexis Sanchez stays on the ground for a moment or two, and then Hulk has reacted to a challenge on the far side by putting his hands to his face. I'm not sure whether there's a great deal in that, and Howard Webb rather wearily trots over as Mena puts an arm around his opponent's shoulder. It's just a little hand as the two of them challenged, but he's a big guy, Hulk. I don't think it merited that sort of reaction. And no further action taken. 1-1, Brazil 1, Chile 1. Penalties approaching. Neymar now to Marcelo, to the edge of the box, cleared away on the edge of the area by Silva for Chile, Francisco Silva. And now Dani Alves, forward and right of the centre circle, passes it out to the right-hand side. That's where Hulk is. Hulk up against Mena, cuts onto his left foot. Hulk's cross to the far side of the penalty area. Willian lays it back behind Marcelo, who just had to check back, so wasn't able to even think about getting a shot in. Marcelo, Chile have got everyone back behind the ball now. We've got just over 5 minutes of extra time to play. David Luiz now. He's virtually on the left wing. Has Willian there with him. Willian moves in field. A little bit of space here. Clips it into the box, aiming for Joe. It's headed away, though, by the newly arrived Rojas for Chile. Hulk wins a throw-in off Mena on the right-hand side. Just get the feeling there might be a chance in the offing. Hulk. Brazil keep possession. Dani Alves, then back to Luis Gustavo. And now Thiago Silva, just as Alexis Sanchez arrives. Hooks a pass here to the left-hand side to Luiz. Now forward from him towards Willian. Headed away well by Silva for Chile. Now Marcelo. Brazil dominating possession. They're playing the second period of extra time inside the Chile half. David Luiz looks up, crosses it, actually hits Willian, but bounces down for Ramirez. Ramirez tries to pass it through, but he couldn't pass it through the Chilean back line. Comes back out to Luis Gustavo, and a free kick. Willian has conceded it on the edge of the area, and Chile will take another chance to have a break here and try and see a little more time away through to penalties.
Yeah, again, Philip Scolari just unhappy with Howard Webb for the foul there from Ramirez. Actually quite fortunate because the ball bounced back off Howard Webb back into the path of Ramirez to give them the opportunity to continue the attack. Again, it's come to nothing though.
Take it from me, take it from all of us. If Brazil go out here today, there is going to be some major league complaining about Howard Webb and the officiating team from England. Although our feeling is that he has officiated, I would say above average in terms of the way that he's handled this game.
I think it's so difficult because any time there's contact, a player goes down, rolls around for 5 or 6 seconds, waits for Howard Webb, see what he's going to do, and then they get up. So that's difficult in itself, but I think he's handled the game really well.
Now Julio Cesar, the goalkeeper, long ball down the middle, headed away by Chile. Neymar's got it on the left-hand side. Neymar cuts in field, beats Aranguiz, and then Neymar goes in for another challenge and ends up tangling with Aranguiz, goes down, and free kick, or is it a throw-in, is given Chile's way because Neymar has stayed down with Aranguiz. He recoiled away there, Neymar, as though he'd been hurt. Aranguiz, I think, has probably come out of it worse. Free kick's been given for Gutierrez's challenge on on Willian, I think it was. So it's a free kick on the left-hand side. Willian is going to take this. 2.5 minutes to go, then it'll be penalties to decide whether it's Brazil or Chile who go into the quarter-finals. Willian, right-footed. Here it is, into the box, headed away by Pinilla, who is back in there. Willian wins a header, but then it's just thwacked away downfield by Pinilla. Anywhere will do. And one of the Chilean substitutes comes out and allows it to run, but don't worry, there's another ball there, and it is taken, the quick throw. And not from the right place, incidentally. Probably about 15 yards away from where it should have been. However, play is allowed to continue. Marcelo took it, but Hulk can't keep it on the far side, and now it is cleared away. Again, the long ball in a vain hope that it might get a break for Alexis Sanchez, who's playing very much up front on his own now. Pinilla is virtually an auxiliary defender in this game. Brazil with it on the right. Now to Dani Alves, who took his eye off the ball, but he still has plenty of space to play with. So David Luiz is back into his own half. 90 seconds to go. 1-1 the score. And David Luiz has gone all the way back to Julio Cesar. Has he got a problem? He immediately put his hands on his knees there, David Luiz. Well, Julio Cesar, here it is, another long ball for Brazil. That's way above Joe. Gave him no chance. And now Luis Gustavo slips as he plays it to Hulk. Hulk now weaves infield from the right-hand side, shoots from way out. That must be 40 yards and more, and just slices and drifts away well beyond the far post and behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, Jordan made eye contact with him as well as he come into his left foot, wanted the ball to be played into him. Taking the shot, as you said, 40 yards out. It's never really going to be testing the goalkeeper of Bravo's quality.
Has the pressure got to Brazil today, Kevin, or is this team just not good enough?
Well, the way that they started, they were right on the front foot. I felt for the first 20 minutes in the game they were outstanding. Then they give a really sloppy goal away. Then the tension crept in, and it's crept in throughout the rest of that half, throughout the second half. They've probably been the better side if you look at it from open...
Pinilla now gets a fortunate break against Luis Gustavo. Alexis Sanchez plays it through to Pinilla. Pinilla's in! Oh, he shoots against the bar! That was almost curtains for Brazil. But they're still in it. Oh, so close. Pinilla holds his head. Chile holds its head. Brazil holds its head.
Absolutely incredible. Great effort it was from Pinilla. Shrugged off Thiago Silva onto his right foot. Brilliant strike. Top corner bound off the crossbar. So unlucky.
Still 1-1. Penalties on the way. We're into added time. Penalties are seconds away. Chile lose possession. Ramirez plays it forward to Neymar. 2 minutes out of time. Neymar's running through the middle. He's got Hulk to his right. Hulk controls it, and then across comes the covering challenge to put it from behind at just the moment that Hulk was going to shoot goalwards. Corner.
Yeah, what a passage to play. It was always going to be Hulk trying to get back on his left foot. If it had taken the touch forward onto his right, he'd have had more space to work with. In doing that, in taking it onto his left, he allowed the defender to get back and make the challenge.
90 seconds of added time to play. This might be Brazil's last chance to win it. Here it is, swung in towards David Luiz, but he's beaten to it at the near post. However, Brazil still in possession with Willian here. Neymar, David Luiz still inside the penalty area, but it's played back to Ramirez on his right foot. There is space, he shoots low, and Bravo goes down to his right and knew that it was rolling a foot wide of the post.
Yeah, didn't really get hold of it, did he, John? Didn't get hold of it at all. Getting in silent on his right foot, they had options. Maybe make one more pass to try and create the opening even further. Never testing Bravo.
Now the Brazilians are complaining to Howard Webb that Chile are going to take an age to take this goal kick. I think 2 minutes of added time at the end of extra time is probably fair enough as well. And he might add a little more, let's see. 40 seconds to play.
What a moment though for Chile, John. What a moment it was.
Yes, Pinilla with that shot. Struck the crossbar, flush in the face, and came back out. And now Bravo just clear it downfield, and it comes off the head of Pinilla and rolls through. So goal kick, and I think this might be it. 15 seconds I make it, and Scolari is there on the edge of his coaching area telling them just to get it forward, get it downfield. Well, they don't, and that is it. That is the end of the action. After extra time, it's finished Brazil 1, Chile 1. And Brazil and Chile's hopes now rest on penalties. Kevin Kilban.
Yeah, I've been those players at this particular stage of the competition. It's not nice. I stood up and missed mine, as it turned out that day, John. It was a big moment for me, probably in my career as well, and I think these players now, no matter how often they've been practicing, we did it throughout when we were in our World Cup competition, you step up to take the opportunity, and if you miss, you know, it goes against you for the rest of your career, and you think about it so much.
Well, we were both there that night in that little corner of South Korea. I was commentating on it, and you know, it was such a contrast, wasn't it, between the Republic of Ireland and Spain, but that is the way of penalties. And now the host nation at this 2014 World Cup, their hopes rest on spot kicks, which will be coming shortly. But after extra time, it's finished Brazil 1, Chile 1, here in Belo Horizonte.
Well, one of the key factors now is which end of the ground the penalties will be taken at. And if it's the end to the right, behind that goal are the 3,000 Chilean fans. I think it is, you know.
Yeah, looks that way, doesn't it? Bravo's making his way down the pitch.
Well, it's wonderful. Just one point, Kevin. The penalty taker. It will obviously vary. Do you make up your mind where you're going to put the ball before you come up to the ball?
Yeah, invariably he's saying, like these lads have been practicing beforehand as well, so you kind of have a set routine, the way that you take your penalties, and you go in and you have confidence, conviction in what you do. And again, you might not hit it right, there might be something does happen within that run up that dictates why you miss it, and that's what happens, you know. I think if you go up with conviction, you're full of confidence, stick to what you know. I suppose that's the message that they're getting to, or being relayed to every one of those players that's out there now. Stick to what you know, do what you're good at.
We still don't know which of the teams is going to take the first penalty kick. Julio Cesar and Claudio Bravo have both embraced each other because they know that, you know, the pressure, inevitably, the focus is on the goalkeeper. You know, and does he move quickly? If he moves too soon, does the referee have the conviction to say, no, retake that? Claudio Bravo is moving towards the goal, and he looks to the fans behind that goal, all dressed in red. It's going to be Brazil who'll take the first penalty kick. David Luiz. The responsibility is his. So Brazil, is it an advantage? You think it is psychologically?
Yeah, I think it is. Get up and running, get the goal away, put the pressure back on Chile.
Bravo is a brilliant goalkeeper, and I don't care what the stats say. Bravo crouches on his goal line. David Luiz has placed the ball on the penalty spot, and it's going to be quite a big run-up for David Luiz, the Chelsea player, the former Chelsea player. Luiz shoots into the net. Bravo committed himself to the left. Luiz shot went to the goalkeeper's right, and Brazil lead 1-0.
Positive conviction in the penalty. Good step up there from David Luiz, send the keeper the wrong way. Perfect start for Brazil.
What a nerve-wracking occasion this is. It's Pania who walks forward first for Chile, with Brazil 1-0 up in the shootout. So now the jeers from the Brazilian supporters. The right-footed penalty. He steps back towards the edge of the box. Here he comes, Pania, straight down the middle and saved! Straight at the goalkeeper. Julio Cesar parries it, and it remains 1-0 to Brazil.
He's come off his line there, John. He stepped 2 or 3 yards off his line, narrowed the angle. Comfortable save for him, but he's well off his line.
I don't think you needed to say who'd scored or who'd saved or whatever, because we knew with that huge roar. So Brazil lead 1-0 after each side has taken their first penalty. Now we've got Willian in the quadrant, comes forward now, another right-footed penalty. He's hit it wide. Catastrophic for Brazil. No excuse not to hit the target, and suddenly it swings back towards Chile.
Incredible, absolutely incredible. Didn't hit it well at all though, William, did he? Sent Bravo the wrong way. Terrible penalty.
Remember what we were saying about Brazil not having regular penalty takers? Only Hulk of this squad takes them for his club, and William is absolutely distraught. Luis Gustavo has had to go to him, Ramirez, David Luiz as well, his club mates of course at Chelsea. Daniel, he's having to be shepherded back to the halfway line. Well, it's already thrilling, the shootout. Brazil winning 1-0 in the shootout after 3 penalties. Now it's Alexis Sanchez for Chile. Oh, and it's saved by Julio Cesar, leaping down to his right, and he's saved both of them so far. And after 4 penalties, it's still only 1-0 Brazil.
Yeah, Scolari's on the pitch as well. Guess right again. Cesar, wasn't a really good penalty from Sanchez. Wasn't in the corner. He stepped off his line ever so slightly again, but it's a comfortable save.
Brazil have the advantage after 2 penalties. Now it's Marcelo of Real Madrid. Can Bravo encourage another error? Immediately goes under his left foot, and that's a good penalty kick. I think Bravo may have got a hand to it, but he couldn't stop it. It's into the net, and Brazil, having taken 3, lead 2-0.
He did, Alan. He got a hand to it. He went the right way, Bravo. Just enough power from Marcelo to take it beyond the goalkeeper into the corner. 2-0 Brazil. Driving seat now.
What a contrast between, from this distance, 2 very similar looking players. Willian with the previous one for Brazil, who was distraught, and Marcelo, who was leaping for joy and raising the arms to the crowd. So it's 2-0 to Brazil, and this is Chile's 3rd penalty. They've not scored one yet. It's Aranguiz, another right-footed penalty. Julio Cesar saved both so far, and this one is lashed into the net. Julio Cesar didn't even move. Goodness me, he really swung a leg at that and planted it in the top corner. Well, so 2-1 Brazil.
There wasn't too much of a run, it was a head down, smash it, top corner, unstoppable. Great penalty from Aranguiz there.
Fantastically brave from the Chilean player. And now it's Hulk, the regular penalty taker in this Brazil lineup. Brazil lead 2-1. We're in the 4th series of penalty kicks. This is very, very important. Here's Hulk. He's going to head it left-footed. Bravo on his line. Hulk drives it, and it hits the goalkeeper as much as anything else. Most important, it stays out of the net. Hulk has missed, and Chile are back in it.
Well, it's a poor penalty shootout, you've got to say that. He's just gone for power. Got his head down, lashed it as hard as he can off the thigh of Bravo. Good save from him.
So it's Diaz next. Marcelo Diaz, who walks forward into the D, and if he scores here, it's all levelled up again with 1 penalty each to go of the initial 5. So Julio Cesar actually just playing with Diaz's mind here. Julio Cesar is actually in the net, leaning up against the white netting. He's not ready yet, and now he steps forward, Julio Cesar, but it's Diaz. Marcelo Diaz for Chile. Here he comes on his right foot, and it's down the middle. Julio Cesar leapt to his left, but it's in the net, and Chile have levelled it up in the shootout. 2-2 now.
Yeah, good penalty. That time Cesar diving early. Looks as though he was going to just put it over to the keeper's left-hand side, but he just adjusted his foot at the end, went central, straight down the middle. Good penalty.
Neymar has had to shoulder the burden of expectation largely for this Brazilian World Cup team. He scored 4 goals. He has been their best player. It's 2-2 in the shootout. 1 penalty each remaining before we go into stoppage time, so to speak. Neymar for Brazil, and Bravo dancing along the line at the moment, clad in black. Neymar staring at the goalkeeper, looking down at the ball, moves to his left, going to head it right-footed. Here he comes, he hesitates, but he scores. He acknowledges the applause, and Brazil lead 3-2, and Chile have to score with the next penalty, or Brazil are through.
Yeah, good penalty, good composed penalty from Neymar. Waiting for Bravo just to dive to his left-hand side. Pulled it back across him into the other corner. Big pressure on this last penalty now for Chile.
Looks like Gonzalo Jara is coming forward. I was wondering who it was going to be, because Alexis Sanchez, of course, the sort of Neymar figure in the Chile team, has already taken his penalty and seen it saved. So it is Gonzalo Jara, who's just been released by Nottingham Forest here in this extraordinary theatre in Belo Horizonte. Must score, right foot, he's hit the post! Brazil are through! Chile are out, and Brazil are off the hook! Such a fine line, such a fine margin. It hit the inside of the post and rebounded across the goal line and out and away. And with that ball went Chile's dreams, and Brazil's live on at their own World Cup. But so close, Brazil. You've really got out of jail there.
They really have. Williams in tears, lay on the floor face down. I think it's Fred that's going to pick him up with his penalty miss throughout. I think Neymar himself's in the centre circle, he's in tears as well. What a moment. Decent strike from the penalty from Harrell. Hit the post. Brazil goes wild.
So they've won the shootout 3-2 after the 1-1 draw. And Brazil, the usual scenes here, the Brazilian players, the staff, all tearing forward to celebrate. But they've been pushed right to the limit by Chile today.
Yeah, it's been an incredible moment, that penalty miss there. But they have, Chile had the chance, they hit the bar just in the last few minutes of injury time. Big moment for Brazil, though. Big moment.
So Brazil go on, and Chile have to go back over the Andes after this. Brazil will play either Colombia or Uruguay on Friday in Fortaleza. And they look absolutely drained, the Brazilian players. Well, it's either a scene of celebration or a scene of utter exhaustion. And as you mentioned, Kevin, Willian down there, who was almost inconsolable after his penalty missed, and Hulk as well, and Marcelo I see just raising his arms now, and Neymar. Well, they're all in tears. Everyone's in tears. The Chileans are in tears and the Brazilians are in tears of relief.
Oh, it is. Emotional moment down there, certainly for the Brazilians to win it. But of course, the Chileans, they played really well. They put Spain out. Great performance in that game against Spain, putting them out. And today, they've given as good as they've got. They've had opportunities to go on and win the game in normal time. In extra time, they had chances. It's such a shame to see them go out on penalties.
Yes, it is. I feel they were very unfortunate, don't you, Kevin, to actually be runners-up in a group. I feel that they were one of the top sides of the group stages, and it was only because of the section that they were included in, Holland tipped them to it, that they found themselves here up against Brazil. I think they're very unfortunate, Chile, to be leaving at this stage of the competition, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I think they played well. Certainly in that Spain game, especially that Spain game, they were outstanding, putting the world champions out. Then into that Holland game, Holland probably did a job on them. Such a difficult draw to play against Brazil here with finishing second, but they've certainly given them a huge test today.
So Brazil are through in the classic dramatic style of a penalty shootout. They've won it 3-2, the shootout, after the 1-1 draw after extra time, and they will go on. They are still really yet to convince at their own World Cup, but they will play Brazil in the quarterfinals.